Copy G.
All right, where's this turn on here? Oh, yeah. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How is everybody tonight? It'd be nice if we can hear anything.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Shadow over there, or does the light blind you? Standing in full light, kind of bright.
I would rather have
Shoot that way?
us this way
Okay.
with the football players behind us.
Okay, excellent. I could go.
Check, 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 check.
Okay, one more question for your preference. Would you rather have a body shot, or would you rather have it like this?
I would say you can sort of Good evening and welcome to the pregame show, the Aiken Standard Game of the Week. Kenny Brace and myself will be bringing you all of the information that you need to know about high school football in the area. I'm Ed Gerardo, by the way, not just myself. We are going to have a pretty good game here tonight, we do believe. We got teams, they all both played last week. They're looking for their first win. Midland Valley, we're playing host to the Warriors of Grovetown.
That's right, and they had to cross the river to get here. All right, I think that's an advantage for Midland Valley tonight. But this is one of those things early in the season, high school football especially, you have to put a win on the board. So both these teams played decent games last week. It was certainly a competitive game for both of them, but they're looking for a win. And it's especially important for our home team here in Midland Valley. Last year's record 2-9, I know disappointing for them. They expect to be better this year, but they're playing up tonight. They're playing a 6A team from Georgia, and that could be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, Midland Valley last week lost to Lakeside. Lakeside, we'll talk about them in a minute. They're playing at North Augusta, I do believe. But no, they're playing there. They're playing somewhere. We'll see. South Aiken. They're playing at South Aiken, as a matter of fact. But they played good. They led it at a certain point in the game. I think they led at halftime. Coach Jenkins was pleased with them in the first half, said they just couldn't sustain it.
Yeah, and he wants them to play the whole game this time, and I'm sure that's what they're trying to do tonight, playing in front of their home fans, and they want to be successful. They've got to start building. I think he's an enthusiastic coach. He's got good assistants. Kids are enthusiastic this year, but they've got to start putting wins on the board. That makes it a whole lot easier to be enthusiastic.
That's right. All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to look at some of the other games that are being played in the area when we return to the pregame show on the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
Defense at cornerback number 3, Justin Franklin.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion and representing your interests. That's what it means to count on Chandler. That means that you can count on us to fight for you.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Number 67, Hunter Woodward. At guard, number 55, Josh Jones.
On the campus of Midland Valley High School, and we're going to take a look at some of the other games being played. First of all, we're going to look at Aiken. Aiken is playing host to Strom Thurmond. Strom Thurmond won pretty easily over Saludo. It was sort of a rivalry game for them, and Aiken took a pretty good beating to a good Chester football team.
Yeah, unfortunately, Aiken opened up the season with Chester, who is a good football team, and they put over 40 points on the board against Aiken, and that had to be upsetting to Coach Montgomery. He's trying to build a program, went through a really tough season last year. I'll never forget a coaching buddy of mine said, you try going 0-10 and you'll find out how much you really love kids and how much you love football, all right? And that's exactly what Aiken did last year. They're trying to do better this year. They've got a tough schedule at the beginning of this season, okay? Chester opened up with them, and they were a very, very good football team. Chester's looking to be a major force in their division, all right? And Aiken took it on the chin last week, all right? They're hoping they come back. They got to get a good game tonight out of Corey Wallace, their quarterback, all right? He did complete a number of passes last week. Stephon Porter, for instance, had 95 yards reception, but they have to be able to contain Strom Thurmond, which will be a chore, okay? And they got to put some points on the board.
Yeah, and Strom Thurmond, had an iffy season. They, of course, I think a little bit over 500, but at Strom Thurmond, they expect much more than that.
Yeah, and I think Antoine Hillary was really disappointed last year in 6-5. They have a fantastic history. They are always a hard-nosed football team, and to come 6-5, well, that's a winning season, and if you have a winning season, that's something to be happy about, but they're usually deep into the playoffs, and that's what they want to do again this year. The good news is he's got an experienced quarterback, and just like any football team in the country now, high school, college, pro, you've got to have a quarterback that you can rely on. And I think this year Jaquan Harris is going to be very, very good for Strom Thurmond. 11 for 14, 222 yards last week with a touchdown. That's a good start to his season. He's also got a nice running back in Stanley Hill, 17 carries, 155 yards. You know from experience that we've been doing this, I like balance, and there you have good balance between throwing and running. I think Strom Thurmond will be much better this year than they were last year, and I think that's going to be a tough chore for Aiken tonight.
I was thinking about that this morning. I do expect Strom Thurmond to be really good. I do expect, though, for Aiken, after getting it on the chin, they probably had a tough week of practice. I expect them to come out and play a lot better football game than they did last week.
Yeah, I think they'll play very, very hard, and they got to try to build some confidence, just like we said about Midland Valley. They need to win some football games early. I go back to Vince Lombardi, who said it 100 years ago. Okay, winning is something that you can learn to become a habit. All right, but unfortunately, so is losing.
Right. All right, North Augusta is traveling across the river. We got a team from across the river here. We are sending North Augusta over to Georgia in exchange. They're going to play at Evans. Don't know a whole lot about Evans, but North Augusta won a game. It ended up being a little closer than it was looking at halftime, yeah. But North Augusta, good win.
I think so. Thompson's not a bad football team, okay? And that should have been a very competitive game. I think it's an impressive win by North Augusta to open their season. One of the things that always I talk about is the quarterback. And going into this season, the coach at North Augusta said, well, we've got a couple, and I'm not going to say who's going to be number one or number two. Well, both of them ended up playing in the game. Okay, unfortunately, one of them got a little bit nicked, all right? Hopefully that's not serious. But the coach over there said, I don't know which one's going to start. Doesn't really make any difference. They're both quality. They proved that. The quarterback that really had a good game, Bradley Godwin, 95 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. All right. He was helped by Jakari Buxton, running back for North Augusta. He gained 170 yards, and he's following in the tradition of those great running backs that North Augusta's had for the last 10 years.
Yeah, it was a big game for both of them. And you know, from a standpoint of North Augusta was playing a little payback on Thompson, because the last time they played Thompson, Thompson had shut out North Augusta in 1924.
Yeah.
So I think Charlie Britt reminded everybody of that.
You might be the only one that remembers that game. I don't know.
I don't remember the game.
Evans comes in 0-1. They haven't won yet, so they only played one game, but they're a good football team. They were 9-3 last year, playing in a very tough division over in Georgia. So I think that was a good win. A good performance by them. Effingham County, 9-6 was the score. Defensive struggle. All right, tonight, North Augusta is going to give them more of a challenge. North Augusta is going to score some points.
Yeah, and Evans, historically, very good program. Look for that to be a good football game. All right, Lakeside, I alluded to them. They beat Midland Valley last week. They're playing at South Aiken. South Aiken losing a tough game against Greenwood last week. I think the better team won last week from what we saw on the field. That was the game of the week that we did. South Aiken needs to bounce back.
Yeah, they do need to bounce back. I'm just a little concerned. Okay, I think their offense has to find something that they do very, very well. You got to have a bread and butter offense, play something that you do very well. And last week it was the quarterback running the football. Now that will work, I think, against some of the average teams. Okay, you can do that. But I think they got to be balanced. I think they have to have some other weapons. I know they're young, okay, but that bothered me just a little bit that their offense was so one-dimensional last week.
Yeah, and Sanders was good running the football. He's a big guy. He had some drops, but he had a good receiver, number 3, Mays, correct. He made some really big catches for him, and had 6 catches. I think he had the most catches of any wide receiver in the area.
Yeah, he last week, anybody that watched the football game or saw it on our show, he took a tremendous hit down on about the 5-yard line and came up, played the rest of the ball game just fine, and made a couple other good catches during the game.
Yeah.
And he took quite a shot.
Walked over to the sidelines, caught his breath, and back in he went. Now, what do you know about Lakeside?
Well, I know Lakeside won over Midland Valley last week, 33-22. To me, that was a good start, actually, for Midland Valley. They were in the ball game the whole time. Lakeside, they're 1-0, obviously. The Panthers, with Steve Hibbets as their coach. Their quarterback, it's going to be kind of a match tonight, I think, between the two quarterbacks. Their quarterback, Jaden Taylor, rushed for 137 yards last week and 3 touchdowns. Okay, I believe that South Aiken can shut him down a little better than Midland Valley did. Okay, they're just a little bit stronger probably than Midland Valley. I don't think he'll have as good a game. For that reason, I'm going to say that South Aiken's going to win that ball game.
All right, Fox Creek, they're playing their first game of the season, a little bit of an unknown. They're going to Wagner Sally, who won last week, and a good win.
Yeah, it was a good win. Wagner Sally, 22-0 over Pelion, okay? And I'll tell you what.
Another one of those rival games.
Yeah, that's right. And Willie Fox, he has really done a nice job. They were 8-3 last year, good football team. Early in the season last year, we had them ranked in the top 4 in the area, okay? They fell down 1 or 2 spots after that. But he's really done a nice job over the last years with Wagner Sally building a program. I think they're going to be a very good football team in their division again. They've got some experience, 2 good running backs in Josh Davis and Kevin Jackson, both who are close to 1,000-yard rushers. And so I think they're going to be very, very competitive in their division. They're playing against a team that intrigues me right now. They had a quarterback last year that played most of the time named Cam Mitchell that we really liked, okay? But he was also an outstanding defensive player. They're sort of putting him primarily on defense this year, and they're bringing in Jatavius, something like that, Butler, okay? And I'll tell you what, he could be something special, according to the coach, all right? He's a strong, big, powerful runner, and he can also throw the football, dual threat type thing. I'm really curious to see how Butler does this season as the starting quarterback. And of course, if Cam has to come back in, I don't think they go down much, if anything.
He's a good athlete, and they'll be fine. We're going to see Fox Creek later in the season at Silver Bluff. We're going to see Wagner Sally travel to Ridge Spring, and Ridge Spring tonight is hosting Saluda. Saluda took it on the chin with Strom Thurmond. Usually they're a pretty good team. Ridge Spring opened up with a loss too. Both teams looking for their first win.
Yeah, they are. Saluda got beat by Strom Thurmond. That's no real problem. Okay, and Ridge Spring got beat by Batesburg-Leesville. And Batesburg-Leesville over the years has been one of the top teams in the smaller divisions. Okay?
That's right.
Outstanding team. They held them for most of the ball game, ended losing up by a touchdown. But that's been their trait for the last season and a half now. Okay, they were very, very strong defensively last year, held a lot of their opponents toward the end of the year to no points during the season. They've got a lot of experience back. They're quality players on offense and defense. This should be, for me, a toss-up game. I might give a slight edge to Wagner Sally to start only because they've already played once, and this will be the first game for Fox Creek, and they may, Ridge Spring, I should say.
Ridge Spring, yeah.
And they may have a problem with that.
Yeah, and Saluda, historically, always good. They'll get better as the season rolls along, and they beat Strom Thurmond every once in a while, so that should be a really good football game. All right, we're going to go. Williston Elko is at Silver Bluff. This is going to be the Silver Bluff's first game. The Bulldogs, they'll get off this season started. Be interesting how they play, and Williston Elko really took it on the chin with cross-county rival Barnwell. Barnwell beat them 46-6, I think, or whatever.
54-6.
54-6. A big, big loss for them. Williston Elko going to have to bounce back against Silver Bluff.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be difficult tonight. I really do. I looked at that score last week and I said, wow, I didn't expect that Barnwell against Williston. But then I checked back, and last year it was almost the same. The first game it was 46-6 or something like that. But they had lots of fumbles and all kinds of stuff in that ball game. So Barnwell's a little stronger than Williston. We know that, but they're in a different division too right now. All right. What we have coming into tonight, I'm really curious about Silver Bluff. They've had a couple of tough years in a row after Al Lown left, and they've got a new coach. I like it. He's a former player there when they won the state championship. Okay, and D'Angelo Bryant, I think, has got to have brought a lot of excitement to the Silver Bluff football program.
I would think so.
Talked to a couple of my, this is the first game now. We've seen him a little bit in scrimmages and that kind of stuff. But from what I understand, A lot of people think their defense is a little ahead of their offense. All right, they might be stronger on defense, got some big, strong, fast kids on defense, and I think they'll cause some problems for Williston tonight. And if Williston can't run any better than they did against Barnwell, it'll be a long night for them. Jamal Washington is back. He was over 1,000 yards passing last year, over 700 yards rushing, 17 TDs. I think Silver Bluff wins this ball game.
And we saw him before the games. D'Angelo Bryant's first game as a head coach. I watched D'Angelo play, and it's one of those things where it's like, man, I'm going to feel old now that D'Angelo's the head coach, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We wish him a lot of luck on the season. All right, now Barnwell actually played last night against another cross-county rival, Blackville Hilda. They won that game 40-6. They're 2-0. They're just short of 100 points in their first two games.
The most impressive start by any of the teams that we cover is Barnwell, without a question. They beat a Williston team that always makes the playoffs, all right, and they beat them soundly. They beat a rival in Blackville, and they beat them soundly. Their quarterback was the player of the week. Pender was the player of the week in the Aiken Standard for his first game when he was 6 for 6, didn't miss one. In this game, he was something like 18 for 25, another couple touchdowns. He's got 5 touchdowns in 2 games, and this is his first year as the starting quarterback. He's only a junior. They've got some good running backs, obviously the line, and maybe the thing that impresses me the most, and I think he's exactly right. We've watched him for years. Barnwell with Garrett has lined up in a wishbone and just attacked people, and he can run over most of the people that they play. But they had trouble when they were getting into the playoffs, okay? They could not be that one-dimensional, and they didn't throw the ball as well as they needed to. He's going to more of a spread offense this year, okay? I think that's the exact right move to play with that during the season. So far, he's only put up over 100 points in 2 games.
That's all.
I think it's smart. That'll help him down the road.
All right, and as he said, Coach said, he was the player of the week. The Aiken Standard Chick-fil-A player of the week last week. That was Craig Ponder. He was 6 for 6, 3 touchdowns. Got a pretty efficient on those 6 passes.
Yes, you were.
186 yards passing, and he didn't play in the second half. So congratulations to him, the first player of the week on the season. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Midland Valley as they play host to Grovetown when we return on the pregame show for the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on this floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
Welcome back, LL Willis Stadium for tonight's game. And we've got Midland Valley playing host to Grovetown from over in Georgia. And Midland Valley Marching Band getting ready to march out on the field. We'll have the national anthem here shortly, and we're expecting a good game. It is a beautiful night. If we're not living right, the weather the last 2 nights, last week at South Aiken, it was beautiful. It was a wind blowing. Wasn't hot at all, and tonight's even better.
It's beautiful tonight. They got a great field. I'm so impressed by the way these people are putting these fields together this year. They look like they could be on a small college field.
It's really special, and you still got time to get on out here. Get in your car and come. We got a few seats up here in the stands, and on the other side, come on out and watch some good high school football. You know, these 2 teams, Midland Valley, we're a couple years removed from them going to the state finals.
Yeah.
And with the cars, they had the 3-car garage of cars, and little bit of a tough season last year. Of course, you get trying to bounce back. What do you think this season?
I'll tell you what, I expect them to be better. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They'll be a better football team. The schedule is tough for them, though, and they've changed around the leagues a little bit, and they're in the 4A division, and that's difficult. They're going to have some tough teams to play. They may still be another year away, I'm afraid. I don't know whether they'll be able to get over the hump to being a winning football team this year, but we certainly hope that they do, all right? I like what Jenkins has done, okay, and competitive game last week, as we said, against Lakeside. Another team tonight that we don't know a whole lot about, Grovetown, okay, from across the river, and we don't get to see them play hardly at all. But generally speaking, a pretty decent football team. They lost to a good Richmond Hill team last week, 27-7, but they've got some dangerous people. Jonquavius Brown, quarterback, but he is a very strong runner, okay, and Corey Bryant, excuse me, Corey is the running back quarterback.
Is the quarterback, and
Brown
exactly.
is the running back. But Bryant was 11 for 18, 151 yards last week. That's not bad in a losing effort, okay? So I think offensively, we got to be careful here against them tonight.
On Midland Valley, on the other hand, they've got a couple of really good players, and watching Harper Puckett warm up, looks like he's got a pretty strong arm.
He does have a good arm, all right. He didn't start all the games last year, but he was around for many of them, threw for over 700 yards, had 8 touchdown passes. Not a bad performance by a junior quarterback, all right. And he had a good game last week, just put 22 points on the board. That's not bad. In most high school games, over 20 points wins you the game.
That's right.
Yeah. But they gave up 33. DeAndre Pearson.
Right.
I guess he's their all-everything, running back, receiver, and I think
quarterback.
and quarterback.
He throws the ball too.
He's a great athlete. He can do a lot of different things. Okay. Another thing that amuses me, both of the coaches really high on their linebackers. Okay, they think they've got outstanding, and a linebacker, even in high school football, has to be able to get to the football. That's their job. Okay, they got to be able to make some tackles. And Latrell Walker made 12 tackles last week for Grovetown. That's almost a season for some people. And Colby Tucker and Antonio Freeman really impressed Andrew Jenkins last week.
Right, so we've got some good football players, and we're excited about tonight's game. We're going to see Grovetown next week.
That's right. We're going to see them against North Augusta.
Yeah, we're going to see them 2 weeks in a row, so we'll get our notes, and next week we can talk all about them for probably an hour before the game, even though we only have 30 minutes. But we're looking forward to seeing Midland Valley play tonight. It is a perfect night for football. The band is on the field. They're getting ready to play the national anthem. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take a break. We'll head up to the press box, and when we come back, we'll get ready for tonight's kickoff on the Aiken Standard Game of the Week when we return.
Aiken Ophthalmology provides high quality, comfortable, and dependable treatment in Aiken and North Augusta. With our newly expanded facility, we now have 4 experienced physicians that are up to date on the latest procedures, and our surgery center offers the finest eye care technology available to better serve you. Make your appointment today with Aiken Ophthalmology.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join faculty, staff, and students of Midland Valley High School in a moment of silence.
I'm showing audio here. Are you having trouble?
Of our national anthem. Thank you.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
Check.
James Lewis, please report to the press box. James Lewis.
Ready?
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable, and every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on
Okay,
us
we're in
to
commercial.
bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion
Eric?
in representing your interests.
It's be
That's
hard
what it
not to
means
say
count on each
James.
other. That means that you can count on
He
us.
may have us on
to
mute.
fight.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already
This is the
collapsed.
lineup for
So within 10
Grovetown,
minutes,
right?
they had put a
This in the
stand
middle.
in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
That's the first time.
Yes, I can hear you.
You ready? You're looking live at L.L. Willis Stadium on the campus of Midland Valley High School, where tonight Midland Valley plays host to Grovetown. The Warriors have traveled from over Augusta way across the river to take on the Mustangs here in the Aiken Standard Game of the Week. Hi everybody, I'm Ed Gerardo, and along with the coach Ken Brace, we're here to bring you the action of tonight's ball game. And coach, what a night we've got.
It's going to be a beautiful night. I think it's going to be a good football game. I think we've got two teams that are fairly evenly matched, and I'm curious to see which one of them comes out and plays the best tonight. Getting ready for the coin toss, and we've got these captains. Okay, for the visiting Grovetown Warriors. Number 14, Damian Miles, quarterback, and he's a senior. Number 15, Mecky Monair, freshman, 5'10", 140. Okay. Number 45, Cage Omar, linebacker, and he's a senior. And number 78, Devin Adams, offensive and defensive lineman. And for the homestanding Midland Valley Mustangs, we've got number 24, Tavares Williams. And Tavares is a senior linebacker. Okay. Number 52, DeAndre Blocker, also a senior offensive and defensive lineman. Number 66, Randall Tyler, offensive and defensive lineman. And number 70, Dylan Harris, also an offensive and defensive lineman.
All right, Grovetown won the toss. They declined to the second half, so Midland Valley will receive, and Grovetown will defend the north goal as we're only moments away from the kickoff in game number 2 in the Aiken Standard Game of the Week. Last week we were at South Aiken Greenwood, and we're looking forward to this being as good a game as that one was last week.
It was a good football game. South Aiken up against a really stout opponent for their first game in Greenwood. Great tradition there. Dan Pippin used to be their head coach before he went to North Augusta and then moved on to Greenwood. It was an exciting football game. Didn't look like it was going to be at the beginning. Greenwood got up 14-0, but South Aiken came right back, tied it up, and then at the end, Greenwood again pulled away.
One of the better entrances in the local area. Midland Valley locker room is way back at the high school. They walk down the sidewalk and steps, and here they come as they'll gather behind. Well, they're not going to gather at all. They're ready to go. Midland Valley, the Mustangs take the field, and the Warriors have already made their entrance, and they brought a nice little crowd from over on the Georgia side. Their band is here. Their colors, black and white. They got the black pants with the white shirts. The band dressed all in black, and they've got a good crowd in the stands behind them.
And by the look of things, we might get to see that band tonight at halftime. I wouldn't be surprised. They look like they're ready to perform, not just sit in the stands.
Midland Valley wearing their usual blue jerseys with orange numbers on them, white pants. And they'll be receiving the football. When you watch the game tonight, you want to look for number 4, Midland Valley. DeAndre Pearson, he's the do-everything as Coach described him. He's a running back, wide receiver. He plays quarterback a little bit, so you don't be surprised if he throws the ball. And number 9, Harper Puckett, he's the quarterback. Looked like he had a pretty good arm in the warm-ups, but he also can run the football.
And as I look at the roster for Midland Valley, they've got a young football team. Lots of sophomores on their team, many juniors, and just a few sprinkles there of seniors. So their young football team might be a little growing pains early in the season. We'll see what happens.
So again, Grovetown will defend the north Tyler Tire end zone. And Midland Valley backs up toward the south Tyler Tire end zone. Who have we got receiving back there, Coach?
Okay, first of all, we got a kicking off is Corey Bryant, who's also the quarterback. And deep to receive, if they can turn around here, number 4 and number 8.
So DeAndre Pearson and Brian Staley Jr. There's a short kick fielded at the 30-yard line. Gets it upfield. Good quick return. Didn't have much time before the
and he's still not
players going, and he gets up to the 40 and pushes the pile. They're going to mark him down at the 39-yard line, and that's where Midland Valley will take over with a Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10.
And that's great field position to start the ball game.
Again, a beautiful evening tonight. The temperatures down in the 70s here before kickoff. It's supposed to be getting down near 60 tonight, so this is football weather in August, which is unusual for this area. Shotgun formation, hands off in the backfield. That's Pearson. Pearson hit hard before he got back to the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard, bring up 2nd down and 11.
And Cage Omar, one of the linebackers for Grovetown, threw Pearson for a 2-yard loss.
Midland Valley spread offense. 1 receiver spread wide to the right, 2 to the left. Got a flanker in near side, far side, and back in the backfield with the quarterback. Almost intercepted, came up a little short. He had a step. So Staley unable to get it, and at least he's able to knock it down and keep it from an interception. 3rd down and 11 coming.
Yeah, and that was a nice route that he ran, and the ball was thrown properly. The defensive player made a good break on the ball. That was number 49 for Grovetown, and that's Jonathan Hogan.
Straight drop back, 3rd and long. Back to Pearson. Pearson's got some room to run. He may take it to the house. He's in the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown. And correct myself, that's Brian Staley, number 8. Big score for Midland Valley. I think they did the same thing maybe last week. That was a 62-yard catch and run by Brian Staley Jr. Midland Valley on to try the point after. And the kicker is Parker Welsh, I do believe, yes. Kick is up. Kick is good. Midland Valley leads 7-0. Let's take a look at this Aiken ophthalmology replay of this play. There's the extra point. Here comes the play they scored the touchdown on. Well, we'll work on that. But, Coach, that's the way Coach Jenkins said they wanted to come out with all their barrels blazing.
Here it is, and they've got 3rd and long. It's about 3rd and 12. Beautiful execution here. And the ball carrier, number 8, as we said, Brian Staley, he split the 2 defenders. And what I also like is his teammate down there did not make an unnecessary block. All right, and what a great play. And that lit the crowd up.
And that was DeAndre Pearson that was downfield making the good block. He screened the guy, couldn't get to him. Got a good block at the line of scrimmage also from another wide receiver and went the distance, 62 yards. Midland Valley leads 7-0.
And that was a great call, well executed.
So Grovetown, deep to see a little pooch kick. This is short, going to be fielded in a hop at the 22. Gets up past the 25 to the 29-yard line. That's number 19, who is Bashan Morris. So Corey Bryant, number 15, leads his team out. They'll get the ball for the first time here in tonight's ball game, already trailing by a touchdown.
With just about a minute off the clock.
Under center is Bryant. He stumbles. That was going to be a reverse misdirection play. Midland Valley was up to it. They attacked him. And it was number 6, Tyler Mullins, who got the pitch. He's going to be knocked down for a 4-yard loss. It'll bring up 2nd down and 14.
And DeAndre Blocker, number 52, in on the tackle along with a host of Mustangs. That play was doomed from the start. A little collision to start the play. Blocking didn't work very well. Thrown for a 5-yard loss.
One split wide to the left, 2 to the right. I formation. Going to pitch. And that's J.Q. Brown on the carry, and he's got nowhere to go. The Midland Valley defense was ready for that one. No gain. Second, brings up 3rd down and 14.
And for his 2nd consecutive tackle, DeAndre Blocker in on that play, number 52.
This time, 2 wide receivers split to the wide side of the field. That's the left side, 1 to the right. Split backs in the backfield on either side of Bryant, the quarterback. Shotgun formation. Back to throw. He's going to try to run. He's not going to get far. He may gain 1 yard. And it's going to bring up 4th and long, and the punting unit comes out for Grovetown. Impressive start for Midland Valley on defense.
It's an outstanding start on defense, and they were led by DeAndre Blocker, one of their team captains for tonight's game. and he is a senior defensive lineman. He's lining up at the right tackle position. He had an outstanding series.
DeAndre Pearson deep to receive for the Mustangs. Now Grovetown has to wait for a player to come off the bench. He's in place. Skips it back there. Oh, and the whistle blown.
I believe they're going to call him down.
Yeah, he did go down to a knee. Yeah, he's down, and they're going to spot it. Almost blocked and got it away. I was afraid they were going to call roughing the punter. They called him down at the 14-yard line. Midland Valley getting a big break. They'll have a Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 at the 14.
And Midland Valley really fortunate so far. Grovetown's kicking game has hurt them badly. A very short kickoff to start the ball game, and a poor snap on the first punt. Couldn't get the punt off. Great field position for Midland Valley.
Midland Valley splits 3 wide to the right. Had a tight end on the left side. This is Pearson. Pearson doesn't find much room. He's going to gain a yard, maybe 2. He's going to bring up 2nd down.
And on the first offensive series for Midland Valley, first couple of plays, Grovetown looked pretty good defensively. They stuffed the run, but that screen pass they were not prepared for, and well executed.
They're going to say he was down at the line of scrimmage, so 2nd down and 10 coming up. 2 split wide to the left, 1 to the right. Fakes a handoff, rolls to his left, now going in the end zone, has a man over his head, out shoots Staley. Good defense that time by Grovetown.
He was well covered. Quarterback was able to throw that a little bit high. The only person that had any chance to catch it was his intended receiver, but it was a little high for him also.
So 3rd and 10. They had 3rd and long a minute ago, and they went 62 yards. Let's see what they pull out this time. Staley at the flanker position, split wide to the left. Handoff to Pearson. Pearson gets into open field to the 5, spins in the touchdown. In the Tyler end zone goes DeAndre Pearson. Midland Valley up 13-0, and an extra point coming on. What a start for the Mustangs. Jenkins saying that they needed to sustain this through the whole game. I think they started quick last week too. Extra point is up. It is blocked. So Midland Valley, though, has the lead 13-0 as we go to the Aiken Ophthalmology replay. Take a look at that touchdown.
That's about a 14-yard run by Pearson. Blocked very, very well off the right tackle position, and he did a nice job getting that ball into the end zone. A couple spin moves. 13-0. I got to tell you, I'm a little bit surprised. This is really a great start for Midland Valley.
And you, Coach, you've got to be impressed with the play call on 3rd and long. Go with the straight dive. We'd heard that Pearson was a good running back. He'd been bottled up here in the beginning, but nice run, had a good hole, and made a nice little spin move to get to the end zone.
Yeah, and they've only had a few plays so far in the first quarter here, but they've mixed their plays pretty well. And you got to believe that Grovetown was expecting a pass on that 3rd down play.
So Parker Welsh will kick off for the 2nd time after the 2 touchdowns by Midland Valley. He did a little short pooch kick that was pretty effective his first time. Let's see what he does this time. Kicks it maybe a little further. This is going to go all the way to 20. It's caught by Morris. Morris going to be hit hard as he turned upfield at the 30-yard line. And that's a fired-up Mustang bench. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for the Warriors as they find themselves down 2 touchdowns to the Mustangs. Gotta love that hard-hitting football.
That was a pretty nice shot on the sideline there.
Nothing cheap. He was turning upfield.
Oh, no. Clean. Just tough.
I formation. To the fullback. Fullback number 1 is Cole Brown. He goes up the middle. He picks up. That's the biggest play from scrimmage for Grovetown in their second possession here. They picked up 4 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 6.
I had a little trouble with his name during the pregame show in the program. They forget about the 12-letter name and just call him JQ.
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 I was warming up trying to say his name. I said, I wonder if he'd mind if I called him JQ.
Well,
and then we get the roster and go, oh,
that is JQ.
High formation again. This time going to JQ. JQ tries to get outside, and Midland Valley comes up, hits him hard. That's going to be a loss of a couple yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 8.
Very, very impressed with the defense from Midland Valley so far, especially those down 4 linemen. They are really playing the run quite well. They're going down the line of scrimmage and making tackles, really doing a great job.
They spotted him as a 1-yard loss. 3rd down and 7 coming up. Shotgun formation, a back on either side. 2 to the right, 1 to the left in the wideouts. All right, drops back to pass, a little screen pass. Oh, and he can't bring it in. He had some room to run, too. Brown could not bring it in.
Quarterback for Grovetown under extreme pressure that time. They brought a little corner blitz from the outside here, and he was in trouble.
It was the right play call. I believe that Brown would have probably gained some good yardage on that. Don't know if he'd gotten the 1st down, but it brings up a punting situation. 4th down and 7. And DeAndre Pearson back again. Let's see if Grovetown can get this off. Good snap this time. Gets it away. A little wobbly, but
decent
fielded.
Kick.
Gets upfield. Gets a block. Now he goes to his right. Spins out. Goes across the 45 to the 44. He stepped out of bounds at the 46-yard line. He's 4 yards short of midfield. And that's where the Mustangs will take over. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 with a 13-0 lead here in the first quarter. 6:11 left to go here in the first quarter.
And as advertised, DeAndre Pearson is an exciting football player. He's touched it a few times already tonight, and each time he does, the defense better look out.
So Harper, back at quarterback, hands off to Pearson. Pearson hit hard. He's going to lose, looks like 3 yards. We'll call it 2. 2nd down and 12 coming up.
Well defended that time, nowhere to run.
Got a man all by himself. It's caught. Going downfield to 30, 25, 20, inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Chris Jowers. And that's Chris's first catch of the game. He was wide open.
Yes, he was. Nobody in that area. Nice run after the catch.
So on 2nd and long, another big play from Midland Valley, and they're knocking on the door again. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 at the 16.
And Harper Puckett so far is showing a nice ability to put that ball on the money.
So Midland Valley got all the momentum. You know, they got to feel like they can do no wrong. 2 split wide to the right, tight end on the right side, back in the backfield. They're going to go to the left, digging hard, gets across the 15 to the 13 before he meets a host of tacklers. And that's the first time we've seen number 10, Devron Curry, on the team.
Devron Curry, carry.
Pearson stepped out for the play. He's back on the field.
Pick up 2. That'll bring up 2nd and 8 from the Warriors, 14-yard line.
Tight end on the left side. Now they run to the right. This is Pearson. Pearson steps inside. Flag comes out from that position. That is usually holding, which is down around the 10-yard line.
Pretty nice hole for Pearson that time. Would have been a good game, but I believe you're right. Yeah, there it is.
Holding against the Mustangs. So this will slow them down a little bit. They'll repeat the down, but it'll be a 10-yard walk-off. They walk it off to the 19. So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 13. First flag of the game.
Very clean first quarter, moving right along.
Grovetown did make one mistake as they fielded a punt, took the one knee, and called him down. Going to roll to his left. And doesn't escape the rush. Good hard rush from the outside.
And that was Simeon Barrow. Nice tackle by Grovetown.
Puckett tried to step outside, and the rush just kept coming, and he knocks him down at the 29-yard line. It's Midland Valley finally facing a little bit of adversity. It's going to be 3rd and long.
They've done well on that a couple times tonight so far.
3rd and 23. Yeah, they got 62 on the 3rd and long. I think that would, a 29-yard penalty, would 29-yard play would be good. Now the Midland Valley Mustangs are going to call a timeout. We got a timeout on the field. We'll take our first break of the game. You're watching the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
All right, Midland Valley uses their first timeout of the first half to talk over this 3rd and 23 play. Now, they've run some really good plays on 3rd down.
They have, both running it and throwing it. I'm impressed by their quickness, both offensively and defensively. Midland Valley looks sharp right now.
So Harper Puckett leads them back out on the field. He'll have 2 wide receivers split wide to the right, one to the left. One to the left is Chris Jowers. He made a big catch to get them down the field earlier in this drive. Pearson in the backfield next to his quarterback. Looking over the middle, got a man, can't bring it in. A little too high. Nice throw, but left it high, couldn't bring it in. I think if he puts it on the numbers, he might have been able to haul that in. It's intended for number 16, Alden Ennis. So it's 4th down, 23, and I believe, well, I think this is the punter. So Midland Valley going to play a little field position here. Punt this away and try to pin Grovetown deep. So from the 29, not a whole lot of room for error here. Nice snap, gets the ball away. This is going to go out of bounds, and let's see where they spot it. And they're walking it back up. And it's spotted at the 17-yard line, so backs them up another 12 yards. And Grovetown has a 82-yard, call it 83-yard long field to get to the Tyler Tire end zone.
And thus far, they have not gained anything, really. Been shut down by this Mustang defense.
13-0, 2:49 left to go here in the first quarter. Again, shotgun formation, 2 backs on either side of the quarterback, Bryant. He rolls to his left. He's got pressure from behind now in front of him, and he's spun down. Looks like he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Antonio Freeman, a sophomore linebacker, made that tackle in the backfield. The defensive front for the Mustangs, not that big, okay, but they're very quick. They're getting after them.
2nd down and 9 for the Warriors, 18-yard line.
Same formation, shotgun formation. Running the option, pitches it outside. This is Brown. Brown turns the corner and gets to the 22-yard line before he's run out of bounds. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 3. Yeah, we'll call it 3 yards.
I think you're right. Antonio Brown made that tackle also.
All right, timeout on the field. Didn't see whether Grovetown called that timeout. I'm going to assume they did. We got a timeout on the field. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Aiken Ophthalmology provides high quality, comfortable, and dependable treatment in Aiken and North Augusta. With our newly expanded facility, we now have 4 experienced physicians that are up to date on the latest procedures, and our surgery center offers the finest eye care technology available to better serve you. Make your appointment today with Aiken Ophthalmology.
All right, Grovetown has gone to the sidelines to discuss their 3rd down. And they walked it back. It's actually going to be 3rd, more like 4 yards for their 1st down. Grovetown trailing 13-0 with 1:57 left in the 1st quarter. This might be a point in the game where coaches for Grovetown feel like we need to get this 1st down. I may see J.Q. Brown there in the I formation. He dots the I. Handoff up the middle, good run. He's going to pick up the 1st down and more as he goes over the 30 to the 32-yard line. That'll move the chains for the first time tonight for Grovetown. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10, and that was pretty classic I formation running back.
That's
gaining
right.
yardage.
Just an isolation play. And Brown is a big, strong running back. He goes 6 foot, about 180.
Ball spotted at the 22.5-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10.
I believe that's a first down of the ball game.
It is. Again in the I formation. And this time, not as much room, but running hard. Gets up to the 35-yard line. Looked like he was going to be knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. He picked up 2.5 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 7.5.
Brought down 35-yard line.
Still ran that ball a little bit north, east and west. I think if they run the ball north and south, just straight at Midland Valley, they should have an advantage. The shotgun going to throw quick out, caught, out of bounds. Looks like he rolled out at the 40-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 40-yard line. He said he was down before he went out of bounds. So it's bring up another 3rd down and 2.
I think they'll give it to Brown again.
I would imagine there's going to be no secret to this. When you've got a horse in the backfield, you ride him. One thing on Midland Valley's side is if they run that type of offense, they're going to eat some clock. And in fact, they're going to go ahead and let the clock run down to 0 and talk about this next play. So the final seconds tick off. That's the end of one quarter here at L.L. Willis Stadium as Midland Valley has the lead 13-0 over Grovetown. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
All right, first quarter's over. We get ready to start the second. In Midland Valley, a fantastic first quarter.
Could not have been much better. Outstanding defense. They have really shut down Grovetown for the most part. And an explosive offense, something that they wanted to have, and they lit the crowd up with 2 big plays.
And they line up again here on 3rd and 2 in the I formation. No big secret here who is going to go to. Number 2, J.Q. Brown, gets the ball running north-south, and he rolls over people and goes across the 45 to the 47-yard line. That'll move the chains. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for Grovetown. And the Warriors have come to life.
Well, and Brown looks like the real deal. Okay, he was shut down last week, only gained, I think, about 44 yards. But the scouting report was he's much more dangerous than that.
And they're getting away from the east-west, running from side to side and just running him straight at him. So he lines up the lone back in the backfield. Fake to him, now under pressure and sacked. So Bryant rolls out. Midland Valley does a good job getting upfield, and that's going to be a big loss. 10 yards, second down.
And Desmond Curry, number 6, a senior defensive end, makes the tackle. Outstanding play.
Actually a loss of 9, second down and 19. And you wonder about the call. You're moving the football, running it right at them, and you take a 9-yard loss on a sack. So now, back to the I formation. See if they go back to Brown. Move the man up. Oh, movement over on the side. I don't know that they called it. Quarterback keeps. Gets outside, going to pick up big yardage over the 50 to the 46-yard lines. He's run out of bounds. He's going to bring up 3rd down, but he gained a lot of the yardage back. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. And they missed the man moving over here on the left side. They're going to say he went out of bounds in Midland Valley territory at the 47, so that brings up 3rd down and 4.
And that was the first real big run by Corey Bryant, their junior quarterback. And he's listed as 5'11", 200 pounds, or 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Now they're going to run side to side on a sweep. Midland Valley fights hard, but what a run getting down the field. There is a flag on the field as Brown gets down past the 30-yard line, but let's check the call, which is right at the line of scrimmage.
And that was Cole Brown, number 1, not J.Q. Brown, number 2.
And that's holding against the Warriors. So a 10-yard walk-off going to negate the big run. And it looked like Midland Valley had gotten into the backfield to knock that down, and holding on the line of scrimmage going to cost the Warriors and make it 3rd and long. But you're right, they went to another Brown.
Grovetown showing a little life.
So shotgun formation, 3rd and 13. Bryant going to throw to the right, got a man down there, spins around, and he cannot bring it in. Incomplete over on the far right. And that's going to bring up 4th down and long. So the best drive of the evening for Grovetown comes to a halt They'll bring the punting unit on, but they showed a little signs of life.
They sure did. And the penalty really killed them on that drive because they had something going.
2 penalties. The first one took them back to 2nd down and 19. They gained a lot of yardage on Bryant's run, but then a holding call negated another big run for the first down. So they found themselves punting. This is Pearson. Pearson comes up, calls a fair catch, then decides better of it.
Smart move.
Actually, that was DJ Pearson.
First and 10 Mustangs from their own 21-yard line.
Midland Valley likes to have these brothers or cousins or whatever they are. We had the Carr brothers that you mentioned earlier.
Carr cousins and brothers.
Brothers and cousins, and outstanding. I would imagine maybe DJ Pearson and DeAndre Pearson are related somehow.
They had a 3-car garage back in those days. We got an injured Midland Valley player on the field. We've got a Aiken Regional Medical Center injury timeout on the field as the staff goes out to check on their injured player. We'll take a break and come back and tell you who the player is. You're watching Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
All right, they've got the player up.
And the player is Micah Davis, all right, defensive back for the Mustangs. He's a senior.
Number 1 in your program, number 1 in your hearts.
Seems to be walking a little better as he goes along.
All right, Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10, ball spotted at the 22-yard line. Handoff. Pearson tried to get outside. Here comes a flag. And that could very well be holding again. Holding against Midland Valley is the call. So that'll back Midland Valley up into the shadow of the Tyler Tire end zone.
First score, Evans 14, North Augusta 0. End of the first quarter, Aiken 14, John Thurman 7.
We've got a couple scores for you in the first quarter. Aiken 13, Strom Thurman 7. Looks like Aiken is playing a good ball game over there tonight.
That was my expectation, that Aiken, those kids have some pride and they're going to play Thurman tough. They got a long ways to go.
And right now, Evans is leading North Augusta early in the ball game.
All right, Midland Valley faces 1st down and 20. Now a ball snapped into the end zone. They're going to need to pick that up.
Oh, yeah, that's trouble.
Safety, they do manage to pick it up. That'll cost them 2 points, but it's better than giving up the 6.
Safety.
And Midland Valley, as good as they were in the first quarter, now they make a mistake. And I think this is a little bit of what they went through last week, where the second quarter things didn't go quite so well.
They were lucky to get on that ball for just the safety, frankly. It was a high snap, couldn't get handled by the punter. And just as Grovetown had some issues with the kicking game.
Let's look at the Aiken ophthalmology replay, and it's the quarterback that they're snapping to. And Pearson's going to try to pick it up, and that almost cost him. But fortunately, the quarterback was Johnny on the spot, and Puckett was able to pick it up and fall on it. So 13-2 our score is. We saw the replay and the Aiken ophthalmology replay.
It's good to have the replay on this week.
Yes, it is. When we say we want to watch a replay, I'd like to see a replay of that. We actually might get it. A lot of bugs worked out. All right, here's the kick. It's going to kick this and it goes over the head, and it's going to roll out of bounds. So that's unfortunate because that was a great kick. But now it's going to be a penalty, and I have to go back to my book here where they spot the ball on the kickoffs. It's going to come way back. That's a costly roll where that ball rolled out of bounds. If it stays in bounds, they're going to have Grovetown pretty good ways in their own territory. But it rolls out of bounds, and I believe it's going to come at least to the, I guess it's the 45. So the ball will be in Midland Valley territory at the 45. I think they surprised Grovetown with the long kick. The other kickoffs have been pooch-type kicks that were fielded short. This time they reared back and kicked it over their heads, and unfortunately, it rolled out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a tough break for the Mustangs. Kick was a good one. Tough to handle. In fact, they couldn't handle it. Unfortunately, it rolled out of bounds, and it lost a huge amount of yardage.
So Grovetown goes back to the I formation. And I got to believe we're going to see the running game here. We do. This is Brown. He gets outside, turns it in. He'll be close to a first down as he's run out of bounds, probably a yard short, picked up 9. Second down and 1 coming at the 36-yard line.
And Colby Tucker, number 5, among those who knocked him out of bounds. And it looked like they had him cornered pretty well, but he turned on some speed and was able to pick up a pretty good amount of yardage.
Now following the kickoff after the safety, here comes Grovetown. And back to Brown. Now this time, big hit coming in the field. They probably say made the line of scrimmage. Let's see where they spot it.
That'll bring up third down.
Antonio Freeman, one of the linebackers that the coaches had talked about earlier in the week. And once again, just a sophomore, but he's very, very quick, and he's been in on a bunch of plays in this first half of the ball game.
They actually spot him back at the 39, so he lost 3 yards. So third down and 4. A little bit harder play. And they'll come out in the shotgun. Warriors not too efficient on third down so far. Now we got a whistle.
I think it may have been a mouth guard hanging.
No flag. So they reset. Back to pass. Throws it to his left. Overshoots his receiver. Good pass. Maybe he catches it. But it's incomplete. So fourth down coming. And I imagine Grovetown will go for it here. They need to take advantage of the short kickoff after the safety.
And they've played better defense the last couple series. So they may not worry about giving the ball on their side of the field.
Fourth down.
And they go back to the shotgun formation. They've run the option out of this. So let's see what they do here. Quarterback has shown some speed. Bryant rolls, stops, throws downfield, has a man out there, and he's covered, and a flag comes out. I think they'll call face guarding on Midland Valley interference, and that will give Grovetown the first down. Or did he catch the ball?
Bashan Morris, a senior, 6'2", 190, made that catch. Now, I'm not sure. There was some pushing and shoving going on. I'll be curious to see what the call is.
Let's see what the call is.
Yeah, it may be offensive pass interference.
Pass interference on the defense.
On the defense, okay.
Now, that wouldn't be a spot foul if they changed the rules.
Yeah, but he caught the ball. He's on the 2-yard line or something there.
So he did catch it.
Yes,
so
he
it
did.
doesn't matter. So it's going to be declined.
I would think so.
Let's see if we've got the Aiken ophthalmology replay. Well, they're coming to the line of scrimmage. We may not have time. Let's take a look real quick. This is a heck of a catch. What a catch. All right, back to live action. Channel Law Firm 1st and goal. Hands off to Brown. Brown is in the end zone. Touchdown. So Grovetown makes a big play on 4th and 4. Gets down on a great catch. Interference didn't play into that at all. And a touchdown puts the score as 13-8. An extra point try coming. They may go ahead and go for 2 here. They're running a play in, they're huddling up. I have a feeling this is going to be a try to get 2 points and pull this within a field goal. It is. They go under center, I formation, 2 tight ends. Try to get outside. Midland Valley gets some people out there. He splits the defender and goes in for the 2-point conversion. So Grovetown, who trailed 13-0, scores here. A touchdown on a long pass that got him in position. And then their big back Brown goes in for the 2-point conversion. It is 13-10.
And that was an outstanding run. It's only a 3-yard run, but he really made a nice cut as he broke to the outside. Had the defenders moving that way, cut it back just a little bit.
Well, let's take a look at
the end zone.
Ophthalmology replay so we can dissect this, Coach.
Good block right there up front.
And that's the touchdown.
That's the touchdown.
All right, so Grovetown finally flexes their muscles, gets it in the end zone after the safety. Adds 8 points on the 2-point conversion. And now we got a ball game. Midland Valley 13, Grovetown 10.
And it appears to me that Grovetown's a little bit stouter up front, and that running back they have and the quarterback are bigger and stronger than most of the ones you'll find. And they may be starting to wear them down just a little bit.
And this goes out of bounds. So a wise decision to let that go. Number 3 for Midland Valley, DJ Pearson, decided better than catching it, gets it out of bounds, so the ball will come up to the 40 or 35, I believe. Or now they're going to say kick it again. So they're going to take the 5-yard walk off and re-kick. And that's an interesting move. We don't see that very often.
That could be debatable, yeah, but I mean, what the heck? They want to get it in the hands of one of their quick kids that might break one here.
And I think you said that the kicker is Corey Bryant.
Yes, he is.
We've seen that over the years. Quarterbacks who are
good athletes.
Do everything.
They can do it all. And that's why you see so many high school quarterbacks go on to play at the next level as a wide receiver or a defensive back or specialist or any number of things.
A kicker.
A kicker.
Punter. Now, Brian only 5 yards back, so you got to figure he's not going to kick it too deep. He kicks this line drive. This is deeper. They may want to let that roll. It goes out of bounds.
Well, they'll make them kick it again, probably.
I'm sure if you made them kick it the first time over, you're going to make them kick it the second time.
We're gaining yardage. We just picked up 10 yards.
They're going to make him put it in play.
Let's do it again.
So 10 yards and penalties. Backs the ball up to the 30-yard line.
Special teams have had a major impact on this game in the first half.
Yeah, and on the safety kickoff, Welsh kicked a great kick over the heads of the deepest receivers. Unfortunately, it rolled out of bounds, and they brought it all the way back up to the 45, and that set up Grovetown for their drive for their first touchdown of the game.
Will the third time be a charm here? Let's get it in play.
I'm sure he's going to try to keep this right in the middle of the field. And that's pretty much into it. That's not. He probably could have let that go. But he's going to bring it up, and that's Pearson all the way to the 44-yard line. So that's pretty good field position. They gained 9 yards on those 2 kicks. They could have taken it at 35.
First quarter, they were very effective offensively. Second quarter so far, not so much.
Now the snap over the quarterback's head into the end zone, of course, short-circuited that. And Grovetown has had the ball the majority of the second quarter. A couple of really long passes, short passes that gain big yardage. This is Pearson on the run. He breaks through the middle. He's got a big gain. He goes out across the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 12. And they'll move the chains. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for the Mustangs.
And nice explosion on that run. Okay, good blocking, but he accelerated very, very well. Took a little shot to the gut, I believe, wants to catch his breath. So we'll have somebody give him a little breather here.
Mustangs and Grovetown 43-yard line.
Two split wide to the left. One back. Pistol formation. Now slides to the left. Handoff. It's going to pick up a couple of yards. Yep, I believe that was Devon Curry. We'll give him a yard. 2nd down and 9. We haven't seen Staley since his long run in the opening drive of 64 yards for the touchdown. Might want to look, see if you can get him on a short pass again. Here he comes in motion, and they hand it to him. So they do get him the ball. He's got some room. He got a blocker, and he gets out over the 40, down to the 37-yard line. So they got Staley involved.
And Kyle Bryant really moved quite well for a big man. Defensive end, senior, 6'3", 238, delivered a nice tackle.
Ball spotted at the 38-yard line, 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Mustangs.
38-yard line.
Staley splits wide to the left. 2 tight ends. Now we got whistles and timeout, I believe, called by Midland Valley. It is a timeout by Midland Valley. They're second of the first half. We'll take the timeout with them. You're watching Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
Midland Valley has gone to the sidelines to talk over the next play. They've got 3rd and 4, and they're in a position in this place on the field. They've actually got 2 plays to gain 4 yards. I don't think you necessarily punt, though they did punt from the 29 earlier to play field position, but I think they need to move the chains here.
And they really didn't gain a whole lot when they punted last time in about the same area, like you say. They gained 9 yards or something like that. And I know they're afraid, well, what if we kick it in the end zone? Well, if you kick it in the end zone, they're going to get it on the 20. And if you only gain 5 yards or whatever, they're going to take it on the 30. So not a real big difference at this point.
I suppose it depends on what they do on this play. They hold a 3-point lead. Clock shows 6:09 left to go here in the second quarter. Two tight ends. Tight offense as Staley split wide to the left in the flanker. He comes in motion again. They fake the handoff. This time go to Pearson. Pearson splits to the middle. He's going to be just short, I do believe, like a half yard. And it's going to bring up fourth. They're going to spot him right on the 35-yard line. So it's going to be a full yard, 4th and 1. Midland Valley stays out on the field, and they're going to go for it.
Well executed play. Came off of one of the other plays they ran during this series. And they blocked it well, but the linebacker came up and made a good stop. Kept them 1 yard short.
Shotgun formation. Steps back, looks to the sidelines, does Puckett. He's got Pearson lined up next to him. And now a third timeout. Midland Valley gonna talk this one over. This is a big play. They need that yard. They need to get the momentum back that Grovetown has taken away. We'll stay here for right now. And what's your call on this one, Coach?
Well, I think they're going to run the football with number 4. All right, but what I'm still pleased about from a defensive point of view, Latrell Walker, number 21, 5'9", 216. He came up and stopped that last play to keep it a yard short.
And you know, if the quarterback, if Harper can run at all, Harper Puckett, if Puckett can run an option play, fake it to your back, and then go outside and see if you can get the 1 yard. So far, we haven't seen him run. Don't know if he can.
I'll be curious about the formation they set up in.
They come back with the same formation, 2 split wide to the left with Staley in the slot, a tight end on the right side. And they hand off, and busting through the middle is Pearson. Pearson does exactly what Coach called for. He gets to the 31. They'll get it with ease. That'll move the chains. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 at the 31.
And, you know, as I look at Pearson from up here in the press box, okay, he's not the biggest person, all right, but they got him running between the tackles some. All right. Tough kid. Tough kid.
Hands off again. Pearson this time met at the line of scrimmage. He'll go down, no gain. 2nd down and 10.
I will not be at all surprised as the year goes on if they don't utilize Pearson and try to get him the ball more out in space so that he can use his speed, his agility, which he has demonstrated. But he doesn't have to go up against those 216-pound linebackers.
They have a receiver split wide to the right, 2 to the left. Pearson in the backfield, back to pass. Throwing over the middle, throws it behind him. Had a step. Bucket's pass. Needed about a yard up on that. 3rd down and 10 coming up. Big play. And again, in this situation, they're at the 32-yard line. They actually lost a yard, so it's 3rd down and 11. They lost a yard on the first play of this series.
Now look at this formation right here. Okay, I think that they flared Pearson out to the left, he'd be open.
Well, they got somebody open to the left.
Somebody else.
That's a good call. It was a different back, but that was exactly the call.
Yeah. And that's exactly, they could have done it with either guy. They did a little crisscross there, but there's no way that linebacker is going to get out there and be able to stop that play without it being a pretty simple
And let's
completion.
look at this. Coach making the call on this replay.
There he goes, right there. I mean, there's nobody there.
And that's Travaris Williams making the catch. Now again, 4th down, 4th and 1. Midland Valley's out of timeouts, so they'll have to go for it. Now we've got the officials. They're going to measure, see if they got the 1st down. It's that close.
And I would guess that one of the coaches said, hey, we want a measurement, which they have to give them, unless it's completely obvious.
Oh, he got the first down. They'll move the chains. So it was close. And the officials made the right call. Bring it out there. Move the chains. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 at the 21. Rolls to his right. Gets a block from the backside. Oh, in and out. That was Sean Jones.
And we're mentioning him a lot, but number 4, Pearson, did a nice job with a block in the backfield to protect his quarterback and allowed him to get that throw off.
So 2nd and 10 coming up. And we're not sure. Welch showed some depth to his kick on a kickoff. We don't know what his field goal range is. Probably need to get a little bit closer. There's a handoff. Going outside, splits a couple of tacklers, gets inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. So 3-yard gain is going to bring up 3rd down and 7. Pearson's the tough runner.
2nd and 7. The Grovetown 18-yard line.
Now we got 3rd and 7. You can expect here, Grovetown's going to bring some pressure.
Run a different play into that flat.
And the other thing I wouldn't be adverse to doing is some sort of little screen pass. They had great success with that early in the ball game. Sometimes it really works well, even down in this area.
And they go to Jones on the reverse, and he tripped and hit hard. He lost yardage back to the original line of scrimmage. I believe they'll spot him at the 21, where it'll be 4th down and 10. So what will Midland Valley do here? Field goal would be about 38 yards.
Yeah, and I would be reluctant to do that. They had one kick blocked already, and you don't want to have something crazy happen like a block kick and have the ball going down the other way.
So they're taking their time. 2:30 left to go, and now they have a timeout. Now, I assume Midland Valley called that timeout. I guess they had another timeout left. And you never know in these games. It's hard. They make these water timeouts, and
Right.
you don't know who called the timeout necessarily, but I was pretty sure Midland Valley had taken 3.
You're usually right on top of that.
So they get the timeout, and they get to talk about it. When they come back, it's going to be 4th and 10. They picked up 1 4th down. It was 4th and short. And on the other 4th and short, they measured and they actually had the first down. So should we give them credit for 2? All right, Midland Valley's talked it over. They've gone back on the field. They will go for it.
Let's see what they have up their sleeve here.
Got 2 split wide to the right with Staley in the slot. 1 to the left. Back to pass, looking for Staley.
Oh, he's
deep.
open.
Oh, it's intercepted. It's coming back this way. Somebody's going to have to make a play. He's crossed the 50-yard line, stepped out of bounds, I believe, but he's tripped down. Offensive lineman came up and made a big play. That was Hunter Woodward who made the tackle, and he is out of bounds, or down at the 43-yard line. What a big, big play for Grovetown.
They had a man open, but the pass was so long that Justin Franklin made a nice defensive break on the ball and was able to take it away.
So 2 minutes, 17 seconds left, and Midland Valley again faces the auspicious task of stopping Grovetown with their big running back, J.Q. Brown. And the thing about, if you use Brown here and go to, they're not going to go to the eye, they're going to go to the shotgun. Brown running is going to run the clock. Back to pass. Throws over the middle. Had a man, he could not hold on. It's incomplete.
Good defense.
So second and 10.
Was well covered. I like that matchup, though, if I was Grovetown. They had a receiver that goes about 6'2", and a defensive back against him that can't be much more than 5'8", if that. Looks littler than that, in fact, from here.
.43-yard line. That clock, it shows 2:11. That took 6 seconds on that play. 2 split wide to the right, looking to his right. Now going to run out, trying to make some men miss, and Midland Valley comes up and makes the tackle. He may have gained a yard, but it's going to bring up a big third down and long play as the clock moves, and looks like Grovetown will not. No, they will now. They'll use their timeout and go to the sidelines and talk about it. While we got a timeout on the field, we'll take one with them. You're watching Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children, and it's just a relief.
1:48 left to go in the first half. Midland Valley clinging to a 13-10 lead. They led 13-0 after the first quarter. But a safety, a touchdown on a 2-point conversion has brought Grovetown back to within 3. And they have the football, but they face 3rd and 10 at the 43-yard line. Two split wide to the left, one on the short side. Two running backs on either side of the quarterback. Brian steps back to pass, looks in the middle, going down the right side. Had a man, could not hold on. That'll bring up 4th and 10. And I would think that Grovetown would punt here, pin Midland Valley, and be happy to be within 3. But they're keeping the offense on the field.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I'd try one more, but they're not going to. Now here they go, the punt team. And that was J.Q. Brown, who he made a nice effort to catch that ball. He missed it initially and then looked to try and get it on the rebound. He's a good athlete.
Stayed with it. So the punting team on. Pearson back to receive for Midland Valley. Off the side, gets the kick. Oh, it's blocked. Midland Valley not able to pick it up, but they recovered in Warrior territory at the 47-yard line, and a big play by Midland Valley, and another reason to go for it on 4th down.
And I think I would have gone for it on 4th down, but that's hindsight now. But I'll tell you what, number 52, DeAndre Blocker, came up with that block kick, and he's had a heck of a ball game in the first half here.
So Midland Valley's got 1 minute, 35 seconds left to go. I'm sure they've used all their timeouts now. And let's see what they can do with these final minute and a half.
And Grovetown's getting the ball to start the second half, so I think Midland Valley will pull out some of the stops. They want to score here.
And they're back to pass. Under pressure, gets it downfield and incomplete. That was intended to Jowers. Jowers had a big catch and run early in the game. This time he got kind of turned around. 2nd down and 10.
And there's a little more pressure coming from Grovetown now when he drops back to pass. Okay.
Puckett's got a good arm. He does not possess great accuracy yet.
Got to give him a little time. And some of the blockers, especially in the backfield, they've got to step up just a little bit more, baby, so that he doesn't have somebody right in his face.
And he's going to try it again. This is that screen pass. And Grovetown was up to that one. That was caught by DJ Pearson. And Pearson couldn't get out of the grasp of the first tackler until it was too late and the pursuit caught up with him.
Like the call, worked well for him in the first half, first quarter, I should say. Well defended that time.
Clock runs down to a minute, and if I'm Midland Valley here, it's 3rd down and 14. I let the clock run. I'd run the football here too. Don't know what the timeout situation is on the other side. And that is what they're going to do. We give it to Pearson. Pearson hit hard. He spun around and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. So bring up 4th down as the clock ticks down to 30 seconds. And that might be it. I don't believe that Grovetown has another timeout. They start the clock at 21, so they don't have to kick it again. They can just walk back and head to halftime, as Grovetown can't stop it. So Midland Valley comes out with ball of fire with 2 touchdowns, takes a 13-0 lead. Grovetown, though, responds in the second half. They get a safety, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion, and they trail at the half 13-10.
A good first half of football, really. First quarter dominated by Midland Valley. Second quarter, well, the end of the first quarter and second quarter, Grovetown, I believe, had the better of it. And it appears to me that they may be wearing down the Mustangs just a little bit. They're a little bit stouter, they're a little bit bigger, and some of these backs and receivers for Midland Valley a little smaller, and they're taking some shots, okay, and they're being hit by people that outweigh them by 20-30 pounds.
And I agree that Midland Valley's defense is undersized. You pointed out their defensive line, but they're very quick, and they're getting into gaps and causing trouble. And from a standpoint of it's working, now what adjustments Grovetown makes, it's going to be tough, because that's a big running back in Brown coming right at them straight ahead, and I think they're going to see that a lot, because I agree, they're wearing them down a little bit. All right, we're at halftime. The score, Midland Valley 13, Grovetown 10. We're going to be entertained by the Midland Valley High School Marching Band, and I think that Grovetown's going to entertain us too, so we'll take a break and we'll come back and watch the bands a little bit here on the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
Like you've been doing it your whole life.
All right, are we back? Are we running a commercial?
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count on Chandler. That means that you can count on us to fight for you.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Aiken Ophthalmology provides high quality, comfortable, and dependable treatment in Aiken and North Augusta. With our newly expanded facility, we now have 4 experienced physicians that are up to date on the latest procedures, and our surgery center offers the finest eye care technology available to better serve you. Make your appointment today with Aiken Ophthalmology.
We're back at LL Willis Stadium. For our score, Midland Valley, the Mustangs, the home team, is up 13-10 over the Warriors of Grovetown, who made the long journey over the river and through the woods to South Carolina, to God's country.
And, you know, this is anybody's ball game. I think either team can win this ball game, 13-10. Sometimes we have blowouts. This is not one of them. Both teams are playing hard, and it really, to me, is almost a very strong team versus a very quick team, all right? And I am pleasantly pleased and surprised a little bit about how quick Midland Valley is.
Yeah, I think coming in, you made mention of the fact that Grovetown is a 6A school over in Georgia.
That's right.
Which is the biggest of the schools over there. So our expectation was a little bit measured as to what Midland Valley might be able to do with them. But they've hung in there.
They
really
sure have.
Came out like a ball of fire. Coach Jenkins said in the article in the paper this morning in the Aiken Standard that he hoped that they could maintain this, that they apparently played real well in the first half last week, and now they've played well in the first half. They'll have to maintain it through the second.
And earlier in the year, he also gave his coaching staff a pat on the back, if you will. He thought they were doing a really nice job with the defensive unit, and I think he's right. They're really playing well.
All right, we're going to be entertained by the Midland Valley Marching Band, so let's take the score off and watch Midland Valley and listen to them play. time, and we've got a double treat tonight. The Grovetown Marching Band is going to come out and perform as well. Normally we only get one band. Tonight we're going to get two. So maybe we can get some scores. I think we earlier saw that Aiken was up early on Storm Thurman. Have we seen any more scores?
I haven't got them yet, but maybe Eric can get those for us, Eric Russell.
And I think the other one was Evans was beating North Augusta early on too. So we'll see if the scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the
All right.
Band of Warriors.
We'll go to the field and let's watch a little bit of the Grovetown Band as they perform here at the half at Midland Valley.
The band is directed by Mr. Steve Whitaker and is assisted by Miss Katie Bitt. Miss Katie Bennett, Miss Asia Alberti, Miss Mary Catherine Edwards, Mrs. Candy Tucker, Mr. John Newton, and Mr. Patrick Williams. Celebrates 10 years of music at Grovetown High with their 2018 marching show, Reflections, marching down memory lane. Selections include Krypton Fanfare, Bring Me to Life, and Bottle Dance. Soloists tonight include Eli Vasquez, Josiah Dahlstrom, and Abby Winter. Drum majors, you may take the field.
tell you what, that was an outstanding performance by both bands out there, and I am amazed at the number of musicians that they have playing. Midland Valley has close to 100 kids in their musical group out there, and the band for Grovetown has well over 100. I mean, they're about 125, 130, maybe even more. Both groups did very, very well, and an appreciative audience. They got a nice response by the fans on both sides.
All right, well, let's take another break, and we'll come back and have the second half kickoff on the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
I don't know whether these lays are in honor of the hurricane that's hitting Hawaii or something else is going on, but it would be appropriate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be. Hurricane is falling apart, but they're getting a bunch of rain, that's for sure. So.
But the Big Island took a pounding. I was watching some of the video on that, and the roads are wiped out, and they've just got a torrential downpour still going on.
And you've often gone to Hawaii. You're experienced Hawaiian kind of guy.
Been there a few times.
And,
hey,
I've never been there, so I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, let's see if we can see some replays from the first half. An exciting first half, actually. Early in the ball game.
This is going to be the first touchdown.
And this is a terrific little screenplay on 3rd and long.
That's Brian Staley Jr.
and
taking it to the house.
About 64 yards. Okay. Extra point. By Parker Welch. Okay. Second touchdown.
This is what's his name? Chris Jowers. Chris Jowers on the reception. They got him down in the touchdown range.
Outstanding defense. All 4 of the defensive linemen in there.
Yeah, the first half, Midland Valley was outstanding.
They sure were. And coming off the corner here, you're going to see
that was a big
number 6. All right, Desmond Curry, big defensive play. Outstanding.
All right, we've got a halftime score, and Aiken, Strom Thurmond and Aiken are all tied up at 21 apiece.
Both teams playing well, evidently, especially offensively, and I think that's a step up for Aiken to be in that ball game.
Absolutely. Aiken trying to get a first win in a couple years, so we'll see how that all turns out. So we're ready for the opening kickoff. As Coach alluded to, as we wound down the first half, Grovetown going to get the second half kickoff. So Parker Welch going to do another pooch kick, it looks like here. It is a short one, going to be fielded at the 21-yard line. Coming back across the field is going to get some yardage, and number 3 is Justin Franklin on the carry. He gets up to the 34-yard line. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10 for the Warriors. And Ken just fell out of the press box. We'll all right. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10.
We're back.
I told everybody you fell out of the press box.
Not quite.
It sounded like it. 2 split wide to the left, 1 to the right. I formation. This usually means J.Q. Brown. And that's who gets the ball. Midland Valley up to the task. Hits him hard in the backfield. He's going to lose 2 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 12.
And that looked reminiscent of the first quarter.
certainly a good job by the coaching staff to get the defense ready and what to expect. Because that was just a downhill run, which we were saying we expected them to go to that early and often and give it to the big back.
And Midland Valley has been selling out this whole ball game. They have everybody within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage. All 11 of the defenders.
Second down. Now they're going to pitch and run him to the left. Got a little bit of a seam. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll bring up third down and 10 as he picks up the 2 yards he lost on the first play. We just started the third quarter. Midland Valley leads 13-10, with Grovetown having the first possession of the second half.
And when I see 11 guys within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage, I think that's a pretty gutsy call by the defensive coordinator and the defensive coaches. If they should happen to pop one, it's so long, but they're up there, and they got too many people for them to block.
They'll change that a little bit here.
Yes,
as
they
go
did.
to the shotgun formation. Backs on either side of the quarterback, Bryant. Drops back. Oh, gets away, gets hit again. He's going to be dropped for a loss. Big sack by the Mustangs all the way back at the 30-yard line.
Had a little protection to start, but when it collapsed, there was no place for him to go. He was swarmed.
So he lost 4 yards on that play. 4th down and 14, punting unit on.
An outstanding defensive start for the Mustangs.
Pearson deep to receive for the Mustangs. Just to kick away. He's dangerous, but picks it up. And this is actually number 3, Pearson, DJ Pearson. And he's going to make the most out of that. He's run out of bounds. I believe the punter met him over there at the 30, but he got all the way back to the line of scrimmage where Grovetown was. And it's going to bring up a Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for Midland Valley.
And as you watch that catch take place, or that retrieval of the football take place, I'm sure one of the coaches on the sideline was reaching for his heart. And once the kid gained about 40 yards, he said, yeah, that's a great play.
Flag on the sidelines as he was bringing it down. Illegal block in the back. They're going to bring it back to the spot of the foul, walk off 10 yards. So let's see where that brings it to. I believe it'll still be in Grovetown territory. No, they're going to say the penalty occurred just over midfield. So they're going to bring it all the way back to the 43-yard line. So that's where they'll put it in play.
That's a tough break.
All right, Midland Valley up to the line of scrimmage. And they'll have the ball for the first time here in the second half. Had a great first half. See if they can carry over some of that right here into the second. Nice catch, gets the ball back. Pearson running. And that's DeAndre Pearson. And he can't break away. He's going to lose yardage. So both defenses stepping up here in the second half.
And that time it was good penetration by Dante Arrington, number 24 for the Warriors.
Loss of a yard, second down and 11. Man comes in motion, little crisscross. Pearson, the play worked in the first half. Looks like Grovetown may have adjusted a little bit, and he's knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him one. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Third down. Once again, new records work in the south end of the stadium. Both sides are operational.
And I made a missed call there. That number 21 for Grovetown is Latrell Walker, and he's one of their outstanding players. I looked at the wrong roster there for just a second, but he's made a couple of big hits here on this series.
Yeah, I've never done that before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That happens all the time. All right, back to pass. Going to be a short little screen. There's a flag. I believe that'll be holding against the Midland Valley offensive line. They'll be declined, I'm sure. Well, they could If it's a spot foul, they could back them way up, but I believe they'll let the play stand, make it 4th down. The punting unit comes out on the field. They're assuming it's going to be declined too. Holding against Midland Valley, the call. And he never gave the signal for the decline, but they're lined up at 4th down at the line of scrimmage. So 4th and 10.
They need one more player out there, I believe. Here he comes.
Cole Brown deep to receive. Parker Welch to do the punting. Midland Valley hasn't. I think this is their first punt of the game. I know it's high, and there's not much of a rush. He's going to have to hurry. He gets it off. Good job of just getting the ball off. Now he gets tapped. And man, Grovetown really took a chance of hitting that ball, and somebody was Johnny on the spot for Grovetown. I believe that was number 6 for Grovetown, that able to pick it up out of the air. And we got a replay on that. We'll go ahead and watch it.
I'll tell you what, the kicking game can cause more crazy stuff to happen. We've got a high snap, can't handle it. All right, he's going to get a rugby kickoff, doesn't go much. It's touched, and then it's batted in the air. That could have been any number of things can happen.
That was a heck of a catch to save it from going any further in and recovering the fumble. So the ball spotted at the 44-yard line. The exchange of punts goes in the favor of Grovetown as they gained 14 yards on that.
There we go again, all 11. You can see them, they're all within 4 yards.
And they fake, they're looking downfield, and good job of covering the play, but a nice catch as he came across the field and made a heck of a catch. That's number 6 for Grovetown.
And number 6, Desmond Curry, was right in the face of the quarterback. Okay, you got to take your hat off to Corey Bryant on that one. He hung right in there. And number 6 was the receiver, Tyler Mullins. Amazing.
So a big play. That one's good for 25, 26 yards, 27, call it. And now Grovetown knocking on the door with a 3-point deficit and looking to take their first lead of the ball game. I formation. They do go to Brown. Brown hit in the backfield right at the 25, 26-yard line.
Number 2, J.Q. Brown.
May have lost a couple yards. 2nd down and 12. So Midland Valley doing a good job of coming up and making the tackle as they sell out on the rush, but they get burned with that as Grovetown throws that long pass.
Tyler Randall in there, along with DeAndre Blocker.
Once again, an I formation. 2 split wide to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff hit as he hands it off. They're lucky he did not fumble that.
Number 2, J.Q. Brown is on the carry.
So Grovetown going backwards.
Helping out on that play, Antonio Freeman, number 30, along with the usual suspects up front. They're really doing a good job on those running plays.
Loss of 3 back to the 29-yard line. It's going to be up 3rd down and 15.
We used to run a defense similar to this that we called the knockout 10. I'd put 10 up there, but I had one guy a little bit deeper just in case.
Trying to keep that from happening, what we just saw. That's why you're the coach. Now we got a timeout. Midland Valley calls the timeout, and they had everybody stacked up in the front. And I think coach thought, man, we better change this. So they're going to take a break. We'll take a break with them. You're watching Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
We're back.
Case Company says go Mustangs. Memorial Painting Company, painted right the first time. Proud supporter.
And since during the breaks, the guys in the truck can't hear us, they're doing a great job tonight. Got instant replay going, great pictures, great shots from the cameramen. What a ways we came in a week. So congratulations to Eric Russell, Aiken Standard Sports Editor, and David Boyd. They've worked this thing out. And remember, guys, y'all don't have to wait for us for the instant replays. Just run the instant replays. We'll see it. All right. It is 3rd down and 15. Timeout by Midland Valley. They do change their defense and put some people back a few steps.
Oh, yeah. Grovetown spread it out, and they're spread out a little bit now, or a lot.
Back to pass. Under pressure, going to be sacked. Not a big loss back to the 31. It's a loss of 2 yards. It's 4th down and 17 coming up.
And we've mentioned a lot of the defenders from Midland Valley tonight, but number 6, Desmond Curry, he has lived in the backfield tonight. He is causing them all kinds of problems. And he's a senior defensive player. He's having quite a ball game.
So the offense stays on the field on 4th down. They made a big 4th down and long early in the 2nd quarter.
And this brings the fans to life. A little excitement here.
Midland Valley crowd making noise. 2 split wide to the right, 2 to the left. 1 back in the backfield with quarterback Bryant. He's back to pass, looking to the middle of the field, goes down. He's got a man and hit incomplete. What a play on defense by number 15. Jamal Jackson comes across and makes the play.
And he was looking for J.Q. Brown, the big running back, and you'll see him slide off to the right down the middle. The ball is thrown well, and what a defensive play. Beautiful timing on that.
So Midland Valley makes the big defensive play, and actually, there's a flag on the play. They're not going to get it turned over on downs. I believe they called roughing the passer on the play, which will be a 15-yard walk-off as they were outside the 30. Yep, down to the 14, 15 yards against Midland Valley. A tough break, great defensive play. They were going to turn them over on downs, and roughing the passer keeps the Grovetown drive alive as they trail by 3 with 5:01 in the 3rd quarter as they threaten to take the lead. Back to die formation. Brown in the backfield. Take the hit up downfield, and he's back in there. On the dive, gets some room, moves his legs inside the 10. Pyle moves down to the 5. That's a classic I formation running back.
And a heck of a run that time. And then the rugby scrum takes place, and they're pushing them all the way down the field.
Midland Valley's done a great job of getting in the backfield and stopping him before he gets going. But if he gets going, they have a tough time bringing him back.
He is a load. Big, strong young man.
Mark him at the 6. It's 1st and goal. Chandler Law Firm 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. I formation. Grovetown takes their time, gets it to Brown. Brown hit as he went into the hole, and a good job that time. He may have gained a yard to the 5, but that time he did not get the momentum going downfield.
Charlie Bussey, number 14. Antonio Freeman, number 30, among the tacklers.
Is the defense up to the task of keeping Grovetown out of the end zone? 2nd and goal from the 5.
Got to keep your eye on number 2.
Goes to the fullback, and they're hitting the backfield, and they're lucky that Grovetown lucky they didn't fumble that. Great job of push by the Midland Valley line. They lost 3 yards on that play. He's coming up 3rd down and goal from the 8.
And the key to their success so far against the run is their penetration. They are in there, and they're coming off the ball extremely well. Good penetration to 3-4 yards in the backfield when the first hit is made.
Good look at the Aiken Ophthalmology replay.
All right, Mustang fans, it's third down. Let's make some noise.
Backing up, pressure coming from behind. Gets it off. It's a jump ball. He caught it. Touchdown.
No.
Grovetown.
He didn't catch it.
He didn't?
No, he did not.
I could have sworn on the other side the official threw his hands up. But okay, it's incomplete. Fourth down.
You may have seen the official on this far side, but he had a bad angle. That ball was not even close to being caught.
All right, so it's going to be fourth down. The field goal unit comes on, and they've had some block kicks. Both sides have had kicks blocked. A punt was blocked by Grovetown. An extra point try blocked by Midland Valley's by Grovetown. And it's off. It was blocked. It was tipped. It's no good. Midland Valley going to retain the lead 13-10 with 2:55 left to go in the third quarter. Now, Midland Valley will get the ball back with their backs against the end zone, but they'll come out to the 20-yard line. They'll have a little bit of space to breathe. And the officials are talking. It's a procedure penalty against Grovetown. It is declined, and Midland Valley will take over after the missed field goal, holding on to this 13-10 lead. Came out like a wounded duck.
Good stop by the defense. Now the offense has to do their job. They got to move the football a little bit. They have not been able to do it so far in the second half.
We'll have to get the guys to get a shot at the tent, and the defense now underneath the tent. When I played, when you coached, we didn't have tents with movie screens underneath them, but both of these teams have big screen televisions, and they turn their back on the field and they go over there. They're not distracted by what's in front of them. I'm sure you, same as we were. We sat on the bench and you were distracted by watching the game. So the Midland Valley defense goes over and looks at the screen and TV and the coaches, and they'll coach them up and get them ready for the next time. Big job. There they are, all gathered around, and there is a big screen TV in there. Now, I don't know that they're doing that right now. Coach is just coaching them up.
And those kids have done a heck of a job tonight.
All right, lost 2 yards on the first play. Going back to the pass. Oh, what a catch. Now Midland Valley going to move the chains.
No, I think it's intercepted. Nope, now they're giving it to Midland Valley.
Sean Jones had the ball. We'll have to look at that replay and see how close it was.
Ooh.
But he came down with it. Let's take a look at this on Aiken Ophthalmology replay. Yeah, that was Jones' ball. Great catch by Jones. Good pass.
Terrific catch.
And that has been few and far between on complete passes downfield. They got some on screen variety. That's Pearson. Pearson, no room to run. And Grovetown has made the adjustments. He was picking up yardage in the first half. Second half, not so much. He loses another couple yards. Second down and 12.
Number 58, Simeon Barrow, in on that tackle.
On two, bring up second squad from the Mustangs, 36-yard line.
So the Mustangs at least get out of the hole, get themselves a little more breathing room, see if they can move the ball here and get up close to midfield. There's a pass, inside pass. It's caught. Once again, it's Jones on the catch. It's at the 43-yard line. They're going to be about 5 yards short. Third down and 5. And now Puckett, who was struggling in his downfield passes, his accuracy, getting a little rhythm, 2 passes in a row. His receivers helping him out.
And I think that last one was actually Chris Jowers, number 7, that got that ball.
Yeah, you're right, Chris Jowers. So on 3rd down 5, they try to cross them up a little bit with a running play, and Grovetown was ready for that. Pearson brought down in the backfield. He'll lose yardage. He'll lose a couple. 4th down and 7, and the punting unit will come out on the field.
And what kind of excitement will we see now?
Yeah, we've seen block kicks. Yeah.
We've seen block kicks. We'd see snap going over somebody's head. We've seen safeties off the kicks.
Yeah, Grovetown had one early where they dropped it and took a knee to pick it up and spotted down. But the last seconds tick off the clock here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to go to a 4th quarter, and we've got a good one. Midland Valley holds court, and it's 13-10, same as it was at halftime here at the end of the 3rd. We'll take a break and come back and get ready for the final quarter of the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I always ask myself, would I want me to represent me? Would I want a lawyer who is prepared, who is passionate, who is capable? And every day that we represent our clients, we're telling our clients that you can count on us to bring every skill, every ability, and all of our passion in representing your interests. That's what it means to count on Chandler. That means that you can count on us to fight for you.
All right, Midland Valley will start the 4th quarter by punting it away to the Warriors of Grovetown.
Lots of hands holding up 4 fingers. 4th quarter, who's going to own the 4th quarter?
Welch, the punter, this time a good snap. And gets it away. Low kick. That gets it downfield. Not very far. That's about a 20-yard kick. Maybe 23, 24 yards. So the ball's going to be at the 38-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for the Warriors of Grovetown.
Not bad field position at all for the Warriors. But they need to drive. And I'll tell you what, I admire the way Midland Valley has played tonight on defense. They are really running to the football, great penetration. They're tackling well.
Now they're back out here, and the big back Brown dots the I in the I formation. Going to try to get it right. They get out there, turn him inside. Going to need to make the tackle, and turns up, steps out of bounds about the 44-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 6 yards, and it looked like they had him cornered. He turned it up and made good positive yardage, 6 yards, 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, and he made a nice move. Midland Valley at the time lost contain just a bit. They recovered from it, but they gave up a little bit of the contain. I think this gazebo down here with television is working because these kids are well coached. They know where they're supposed to be, and they're getting there the best they can.
Go back to the shotgun formation. Backs on either side. 2 split wide to the left, 1 to the right. Passing over the middle, got a man. Good catch that time by number 19. Number 19 is Morris. We saw him earlier in the game.
Bashan Morris, and that's that mismatch I was talking about earlier, okay? Bashan Morris is 6'2", 190 pounds, and the defensive back cannot be any more than 5'8". Max. Okay, so that's a mismatch, and that time he was able to come down with the catch.
Ball at the 33-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for Grovetown.
Good replay right there. You could see it. Big height advantage and size advantage. The big man got the rebound that time.
Now going long, got a man out there, but it picked off by Midland Valley. What a play by the defense of Midland Valley. They're keeping them in the game. They're doing a good job of stopping the big running back, J.Q. Brown. So that's forcing Grovetown to go to the air, and Midland Valley up to the task.
Brian Staley who had a great offensive play, and there he got up in the air. Okay, he's not nearly as big, but that time the ball was a little underthrown. He was right there. Good leaping catch. Terrific job.
Now here's the problem for Midland Valley. They're at the 2-yard line. They're backed up in their own Tyler Tire end zone.
Let's see what Grovetown has in mind here. I would expect they'd give us maximum pressure.
That's a keeper. Gets outside and picks up yardage. Good job. That's
Here it is right here.
They got it to Pearson.
Yeah, and the same thing that just happened on the other side of the field. Defense lost contain, let the man get outside. Okay. One of the best defensive coaches I've ever seen used to call that for the defensive end or the outside linebacker, whichever kind of defense you're playing. He said, set the picket fence. Don't let them get outside of you. Okay, and they did that time. And that's a big run. Takes them out of imminent danger down there.
We've got an injured player on the field. That is Pearson, and it may be cramps at this point, the way that looks.
It does look like it. We've seen that over the years, haven't we?
And that's an Aiken Regional Medical Center injury timeout. We'll take a timeout with him. We'll be right back.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Pearson gets up and walks out. That is cramps. That type of limp. We've seen that every year. We've been doing high school football.
He's earned those cramps. A lot of times, those kids, those running backs and defensive backs, they do a lot of running. It's a very nice night tonight, but there's a little heat still here.
Pickup was 7 yards, 2nd down and 3. Goes on the dive play, and that goes nowhere. I believe that. Perry on the carry.
And they lost a yard on that play, and they need to pick up a couple here at least.
It was Curry on the carry, I beg your pardon.
Dangerous situation if they have to punt from deep in their own end zone.
Going to make a substitution, so we got a big 3rd down. 1st down would give them a little more breathing room.
I'm sure the Midland Valley fans do not want them to have to line up at the end of the end zone there, or the back of the end zone, I should say, to punt the football. They've got something available over here.
Go to the screen on the other side. He's going to pick up the 1st down. Good run.
Oh, what a great effort. What a great effort.
That was Tavares Williams makes the catch, makes a great run after it. They're going to move the chains. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10.
He was hit by 4 or 5 different people, and he picked up a huge 1st down for the Mustangs.
So that helps a lot. Keeps the ball in the hand of the Mustang. Clock moves to 9:53 left to go in this ball game. Midland Valley leading 13-10. Shotgun formation. Hands off. Another little dive. Going to move them up over the 20-yard line. Pick up a 2. Bring up 3rd down and 8.
Curry will carry there, pick up a yard.
They're actually going to say he was down at the 20-yard line, so 1 yard on the gain, 2nd down and 9. Pearson over on the sidelines running with the football on the track. Looks good right now and getting some hydration going. Tries to get the ball out Not a bad idea.
No.
It was a little slow developing.
And he had him out. He had him in the open. He made a nice move, lost the defender, but it took a little longer than the quarterback could afford, and they overthrew it.
3rd down and 9. Another big 3rd down play.
3rd down and 9 from Mustangs 20-yard line.
Puckett gets the play called. Spreads the field. Gonna roll to his left. Looking in the flat. Got a man. And he's out of bounds. Oh, he dropped the ball. He's going to move it up to 26. He would have been short of the 1st down anyway.
I thought he was going to give him possession, but he didn't.
4th down.
So 4th down punting unit will come on, and this is where the adventures have begun for both teams tonight.
If it goes exactly as it's supposed to go, Grovetown's going to have good field position, okay? But we've seen some crazy things, and who knows what's going to happen here.
Parker Welsh waits. Little low, gets it though, gets it away. Much better punt this time. They're going to back away. It's going to take a Grovetown hop. Will be in Midland Valley territory at the 46-yard line. That's where the Warriors will take over Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. And can the Midland Valley defense do it again? 8:38 left to go in the ball game.
Warriors take over at the Mustang 46-yard line.
And I think Grovetown, if they want this win, has got to score a touchdown. I don't think they'll try another field goal.
Well, if nothing else, get on the board. They've controlled the ball for most of the 2nd half. Midland Valley hasn't really, I don't think they've crossed midfield. And drops the ball, but quickly gets it outside. And this is Cole Brown with the catch. Makes good yardage.
And we've seen examples of this from both teams. That's pretty good composure. Okay, that play should have been blown up, okay? But the quarterback was able to get it out to his receiver, who made a nice run after being hit.
5-yard gain, 3rd down and 5. Clock ticks down, 8 minutes to go. I formation, 2 split wide to the right, 1 to the left. Midland Valley done a good job in the 2nd half of blowing this up, but not this time. And this may go to the house, to the 10, the 5. Touchdown, J.Q. Brown finally finds the room to get down the field. And for the first time tonight, Midland Valley looking at the scoreboard, trailing 16-13, extra point to come. Well, we've been kind of waiting for him to do this, and here he goes.
Once again, they've been playing tough all night. That time, outstanding blocking by Grovetown. And once he got into the middle, there was nobody there.
And you got a feel for the Midland Valley defense. They've come up big over and over and over again.
Yep.
But they've been on the field a lot here in the 2nd half. An extra point try is up. This one slides through. Good. And Grovetown, who's trailed to this point, 7:44 left in the ball game, and they take the lead. Grovetown 17, Midland Valley 13. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Aiken Ophthalmology provides high quality, comfortable, and dependable treatment in Aiken and North Augusta. With our newly expanded facility, we now have 4 experienced physicians that are up to date on the latest procedures. And our surgery center offers the finest eye care technology available to better serve you. Make your appointment today with Aiken Ophthalmology.
So Midland Valley going to have to get the ball here on this kickoff and find a way. They got 7 minutes and 44 seconds to get back in the ball game, and retake the lead that they've had all night. Pearson back in the game, deep to receive. This is not going to go deep. It's going to be caught and fumbled. Need to fall on it. And now the ball's still on the ground. I believe Grovetown has recovered it, and they have. Midland Valley took just too long once the ball got on the ground. Rather than fall on it, tried to pick it up. And now momentum is really on the Warrior side.
And we've said it a couple times tonight, and I'll say it again. There are so many different things that can happen in the kicking game. It can just change the focus of the whole thing, and we've seen that a couple times tonight, and that's a crucial mistake by Midland Valley and a huge boost for the Warriors.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to be very good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy,
just started the fourth quarter, 27-21. Still a good ball game over there.
Here's the kickoff that causes the problem. Not able to field it, bounces around, and great defensive play there. Okay, and that's 21.
And here comes J.Q. Brown again. And this time, oh, it's a pass, and he's in the end zone all by himself. What a fake. And he caught it. Touchdown. Fooled us all. Fooled Midland Valley, fooled me. Quarterback ended up with it, and the receiver all by himself in the end zone. And now Grovetown takes a commanding 23-13 lead with the extra point coming. Nice play call.
It was outstanding. Had time to throw it. Of course, they were expecting a run.
It seems like Grovetown's band playing much louder now than they were. Kick is up, kick is good. So Grovetown, who's trailed the entire game until about a minute ago, now leads by 11, 24-13. And we'll take a look at that Aiken Ophthalmology replay of the touchdown, and you don't get much more open than this. So Midland Valley will definitely have their backs against the wall now. 7:32 left to go in the ball game. They fumbled the last kickoff, and on the first play, Grovetown threw it in the end zone for the touchdown and lead 24-13. Quarterback Corey Bryant is also the kicker. This is fielded 30-yard line, breaks a tackle, gets up the field, good run to the 38-yard line. Chandler Law from 1st and 10 for Midland Valley. Midland Valley doesn't have the luxury of time anymore. They're going to have to move the football.
There's no question about that. Their backs to the wall. Let me state the obvious. They've got to score a touchdown here. Get the onside kick, score another touchdown, and they can win the football game.
They scored early on a screen, more or less a bubble screen to Staley that he took 64 yards there at that spot of the field where he did that. They also had another little short flat pass, a sack. They got him into position for the second touchdown, but the sack, now Grovetown sort of living up to what we expected. Bigger, stronger team.
And Puckett there, obviously we're going to give a little credit for the defense in terms of the coverage. He had a little time, no one open, and then finally nowhere to go.
Loss of 5, 2nd down, 15. fakes the throw outside, gets it to Pearson. Pearson running hard. Got the yardage back that they lost on the sack, 5 yards. And he's walking fine after pulling up lane with the cramp. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Again, Grovetown from Georgia, a 6A school, a big school. Midland Valley, a 3A. In the same conference with North Augusta, Aiken, and South Aiken, along with BC. That pass is complete, and that was Staley making the catch. He's going to gain about 5.
And the defender almost carried him for the first down. He had him in the grass, but they were rolling around, and he hadn't touched the ground yet.
Picked up 6, 4th down and 5, and Midland Valley may use a timeout. No, they're going to get to the line of scrimmage. They'll go for it. Not much choice at this point in the ball game. Clock ticks down to 5.5 minutes till end of the game. And now a timeout called. So Midland Valley does want to talk about it, and they'll go to the sidelines and take a break. We'll take one with them. We'll be right back.
Young, healthy patients without glasses, maybe once every 5 years. So, but if you have glasses, kind of want yearly visits to make sure you're in the right spectacles. You know, folks over the age of 50 or 55, we generally start wanting yearly visits at that point, because over the age of 50, you have a higher incidence of things like glaucoma, macular degeneration, those kinds of things.
Make an appointment today with one of our 4 doctors at Aiken Ophthalmology.
All right, Midland Valley has discussed what they want to do. They'll go back out on the field. 5:25 left to go in the ball game. They trail 24-13 to Grovetown.
And you know, years ago, they came out with the expression, bigger, faster, stronger. Well, I don't know that Grovetown is faster, but if you take a look at the 2 teams, they're certainly bigger, okay? And as you look at the rosters and so on, they've got many more mature kids. They've got 18 seniors on their team. Midland Valley has 8. There is a difference in physicality, okay, and I think it finally took charge here in the last year. And then, as we said earlier, they sold out. They got to put everybody in the world up there tight, but once they popped it one time, you know, there was no way to stop it.
And back to pass, 4th down, got a man. And Williams couldn't hold on. Williams made the big play down at the goal line a little while ago. This time had the 1st down, but started running without the ball. So turnover on downs. Grovetown gets the ball back with 5:20 left to go in the ball game, and you'll look for them to try to run this clock out. And yeah, Midland Valley should feel pretty good about themselves. They gave this team a run for their money, and as long as they don't lose their confidence, I don't see this as that big of a loss. You hate to lose, but at the same time, they should feel pretty good about themselves. They're going to play teams that are easier than this. Hand off to the fullback, and he's wrapped up, going to lose a yard. And that's been the story pretty much, except for these last 2 possessions of Grovetown. Midland Valley able to stop and stuff the run in the middle of the field.
They have played very, very well. Okay, defensively, they've played very, very well. They've had some spurts on offense also. They've got some talented kids. I hate to use these 2 terms, but they got to be a little patient, and they've got to grow up a little bit. Okay, there's a big difference oftentimes between a 10th grader, 11th grader, 11th grader, and 12th grader. And they can't hurry that process.
Into the I formation. Bring a man in motion now, going to run that direction. And this is Brown. No, this is the other back, which is Cole Brown. Cole Brown on the carry. Good job stopping it.
And a nice defensive play that time by Charlie Bussey. Bussey, once again, we've talked to him a couple times. Charlie Bussey.
So 3rd down and 11 coming up. J.Q. Brown checks back into the game. They'll go with the shotgun, backs on either side. Had a man out in the flat. I think that was going to be a short pass, and he's going to lose big yardage, a sack from Midland Valley. The first person there was Desmond Curry, and he's been everywhere on the field tonight.
He's been all over the place. And also there was Antonio Freeman, number 30. Okay, and they both put great pressure on, eludes the blocker. Really nice job. Real nice job.
All right, the loss was 5 yards. It's all the way back into Grovetown territory. They're just going to take their time. Actually, they, I think, called a timeout to go talk about how they were going to punt this. It's 4th down and 17.
You know,
just like we saw Coach Pippen last week calling timeouts at the end to coach his team, this may be a little coaching moment here as well.
I like it when coaches coach the whole game, regardless of what the score is. You know, this watching this tonight, Desmond Curry reminds me of a player that I had named Leonard Frazier many, many years ago, and he was a defensive end, about the same size, it looks like, you know, tall, slender, wiry. He would chase him down from both sides of the field. He was all over the place.
Pearson drops back to receive. 3:37 left to go in the ball game. And it's over his head. So that didn't work too well. The quarterback, Bryant, is the punter as well. He's the kicker, the punter. Yeah, now that's unusual at a big school like Grovetown. That actually gives Midland Valley at least a heartbeat. This is their deepest penetration of the second half, as they're going to start from the 31-yard line. They got some good breaks in the first half.
Wouldn't you love to see him break one right now? Get the touchdown,
yeah.
Get the touchdown, and try to get the ball back.
Don't have to go for 2. This is a pass. Stops, throws it down. He's got
a player
up there. It's too far. Overshot him. It's intended for Sean Jones.
Intended for number 12, Sean Jones.
So really, that's not a bad call, considering you need to make something happen here.
You got to try something, and they looks like they. Well, they're all right.
2nd and 10 for Mustangs. The Grovetown 31-yard line.
Turn the page. What's next in the playbook here?
Well, Pearson running the ball. We've seen a lot of DeAndre tonight.
And the fans are crying for them to blow the whistle, and I agree. They should have blown that whistle earlier than that.
Pick up of 3 yards on the play.
Once it stopped, let's not get anybody hurt unnecessarily here.
27-yard line. This pickup of 3 yards, 3rd down and 7. Looks back, goes over the middle. High, intercepted down at the 4-yard line. And that should just about do it.
Oh, yeah. That's Tyler Mullins, who made a nice reception for a touchdown just a little bit ago, and now he makes the interception defensively. Grovetown will take over and try to salt it away.
Two minutes, 50 seconds left to go, and this deep in territory, you would think they're going to line it up and run the football. Of course, I've said that a few times tonight, and they've crossed me up, so let's see what Grovetown does. They are a big offensive line.
Yes, they are.
A good shot of them there. Much, much larger. than the Midland Valley defensive line. But they've been tough tonight. They are crowding it up. And they're going to bring him down. That was J.Q. Brown again.
J.Q. Brown on the carry.
When they get him early, they get him.
Yeah. They only gave him a 1-yard loss on that. So second down and 11. Clock runs. Of course, Grovetown taking their time. I was going to say a quarterback sneak probably would be a much better idea. Look how much bigger 77 is than that defensive lineman. That was a good shot where we could really tell how much bigger they are.
You know,
Midland Valley.
I had the exact same thought. They're much bigger. They're
big,
taller and wider.
Exactly. That picked up 3 yards. Clock runs down, a minute and a half.
Now, of course, we didn't see Lakeside last week, but it might have been a similar situation. Lakeside, a little bigger school also, and they might have had just a little bit more size.
Again, Grovetown going to call a timeout here, and again, I don't think this is. A lot of people at home may be going, well, they're just trying to rub it in. They're coaching them. They take them to the sidelines and say, okay, we don't want to screw up here, and this is going to help them down the road. Like the punt where it snapped it over his head, he's going to say, we got to work on punt. They did not have a good time with punts tonight.
You're exactly right. The kicking game for both teams has had some excitement to it.
Not unusual high school football. We saw it last week. South Aiken had a snap go over the punter's head.
By the time you get to the pros are pretty good at it. Okay, and they'll have somebody that's just a designated snapper and holder and the whole 9 yards. High school, you don't always have that luxury.
And the big colleges. The big colleges give scholarships to just a snapper. That's all they do.
You're exactly right.
It used to not be that way, but now they make sure they'll actually have, they get walk-ons. And I know at Carolina that's the case.
I used to drag them out of the phys ed classes if I found somebody that could actually snap it. And punters, I just read about South Carolina. They've been going around about their kicking game, trying to find somebody to boost that a little bit.
Whoa. They're going to give them forward progress, but man, Midland Valley has played mostly tough on that play. They got the one touchdown.
They've been terrific. They really have. Let's see who gets in there this time.
Yeah, couldn't get the number.
I think it was number 52. Okay, 52 or 66. Okay, either Tyler Randall, okay, or DeAndre Blocker. They both played very, very well.
And that's a big kid that they're sticking and knocking him down.
All right, they're going to let the clock run down as much as they can now.
They're going to call a timeout, and the adventure will continue.
This is no picnic.
And the punting game of Grovetown needs some work, and I'm sure he's going to say, okay, now we want to try to get this right. And if you can look over there and see, they're coaching them.
And usually the punter is about 13 yards deep. Now he's going to be only 10 yards deep. All right?
And the last one was over his head.
That's exactly right.
At 13 yards, so this could go through the goalposts. And we had one of those for Midland Valley. The first score of the game for Grovetown was a snap over the quarterback's head of Midland Valley. And fortunately for Midland Valley, they were able to recover it, not have it be a touchdown, but a safety. Yeah, they're firing up the buses over there and got them all flashing. That's all Grovetown's buses for the band for the football team, it takes a caravan to move this group.
There's probably around 40, 45 people on a bus. Like I say, their band had 140 or 50 people, and their football team got a bunch of subs also. Well, this could be fun.
They're actually, yeah, here we go.
Ooh.
We got the punt away, short. And that was DJ Pearson. DJ Pearson's number 3. DeAndre Pearson is number 4.
And Grovetown did a better job blocking that time on the kick. There was not great pressure.
Well, Midland Valley got nothing to lose. Might as well put it in the end zone and see if somebody can make a catch. Puckett. Ready to go. Back to pass. Under pressure. Going to be sacked. So Midland Valley can't stop the clock. So they got to run back here and maybe get another playoff.
And the same thing you've been saying. They're not going to win the football game, but let's see what happens. Maybe one of the games coming down the road, they'll have 10 seconds left to score.
That's right. Coach them. Here we go into the end zone. Got a defender down there. Makes the catch at the 5-yard line.
Doesn't make any difference.
That's the same guy, number 6.
That's Mullins.
Tyler Mullins makes his second interception in as many possessions of Midland Valley's. He's looking at him, and there is a flag down though. As we have 1.3 seconds, and it is against Grovetown. So Midland Valley will get one more play and a chance to throw it in the end zone unless they start the clock. And in high school, you never know what they will do. And so I guess roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty, moves it down inside the 20, well, to the 20. And they do not start the clock. They're going to let them have their one play. Midland Valley, this could help later in the season just to play, and it doesn't. It's a sack. And that's the game. Grovetown makes their presence felt in the fourth quarter. In the second quarter, they scored 10. In the fourth quarter, they score 14, and they win 24-13. But a pretty gutsy performance by Midland Valley.
I can not say anything less than that. I thought they played an outstanding ball game, okay, and it was a shame that they had a couple of busts there toward the end, or, you know, Grovetown did a good job toward the end, because you got to admire it when a team that is clearly outmatched physically plays as well as they did tonight. Okay, they took advantage of the breaks that they got early in the game. They played tight defense the entire game, and as I said, I like to call it, they sold out. They said, hey, we're going to come up there, we're going to come after you, and we're not going to let you get your play off. And it worked for 90% of the game.
I thought Midland Valley, you know, obviously the players played tough. I thought it was a great plan by the coaches. They did a good job of having this group prepared and for what they were going to face and make the plays. I mean, it'll change from week to week, but Midland Valley will play teams that are nowhere near the opponent that this group is.
Well, and just a little bit of a disclaimer to that, they've got a tough schedule. They really do have a tough schedule. They've got Strom Thurmond coming up next week. Okay, that's no picnic. All right, Academy of Richmond County.
And at Strom Thurmond, too.
Yeah, at Strom Thurmond, Academy of Richmond County. Don't know a whole lot about them, but I think they're decent. Then they play Barnwell, who I think is the hottest team in the county right at the moment. Okay, then they got Airport, Aiken, Brooklyn Casey, North Augusta, and South Aiken. That's not an easy schedule.
No, it's not. It's going to toughen them up for the conference play.
Yep.
You know, as far as their toughness tonight, I felt like they were just as good as what we saw from South Aiken. South Aiken looked a little disjointed. Greenwood probably had a lot to do with that. Situations, both teams will get better as the season goes on. We haven't had a South Aiken score. We've only had an Aiken score. So at any rate, it was a good game, close until late in the fourth quarter, and 2 good games in a row. And next week we get to see Grovetown again against probably a more similar opponent, North Augusta.
Yeah, and I think going into that game, I certainly think from what I've seen so far of North Augusta and what I just saw of Grovetown, I think North Augusta should probably be a slight favorite in that ball game next week. But Grovetown, they've got some players, and they showed that at the end of the ball game, and they're physical.
And it'd be interesting, you know, at first it was like we're going to see Grovetown 2 weeks in a row. I'm not sure about that, but after watching them tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how they match up with North Augusta. Will North Augusta watch his film and do some of the things in Midland Valley? I doubt it. North Augusta is bigger than Midland Valley, and they probably won't do the stunts and the twists and the turns along the line and stack it. They'll play their normal base defense and see if they can stop J.Q. Brown. J.Q. Brown's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he can be tough. There's no question about that. He can be tough. But I think the defensive line for Midland Valley, for instance, they were terrific tonight, all over the place.
I guarantee you, Grovetown's happy to get the win and glad to get out of town.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight. Midland Valley on the short end of the stick. Grovetown wins 24-13. Next week, we move on to North Augusta, and we'll be there. The pregame show starts at 7. Kickoff is at 7:30. We'll be live from North Augusta High School, and looking forward to being there with them. And it'll probably be hot. The heat, we got some payback coming for these nice nights, these last 2. But we'll be in the air-conditioned comfort of the North Augusta press box.
Well, that's good.
So it can come back.
So you don't think summer's over yet?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I've been living in Aiken for 58 years. So
gotcha.
It gets hot. All right, that'll do it for Eric Russell, our director, producer extraordinaire, in the truck. And I guess Tripp showed up and ran the instant replay. So good job, Tripp Gerardo. And good job to the camera people. They all did a great job. David Boyd, we thank him for getting some things straightened out on the engineering and technical side. For Ken Brace, I'm Ed Gerardo. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again next week from North Augusta. Until then, good night, everybody.